Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Wednesday, and that means we are back for City of Mist, 6&Twenty Metropolis. We're here to do all kinds of fun stuff today. We're not going to get beat up by anybody. We might beat someone up. No one's dead. No one's going to die. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to meet daytime Flora. We're just going to have a picnic. It's picnic day. It's like the mid-season picnic break. Right? Right. Speaking of mid-season picnics, Miss Ginger Ninja, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and who are you playing today?
I am X-Miss Ginger Ninja. I'm going to be playing Flora again today. It's a beautiful day, and then it's not. That's all I got.
Let's jump over to someone who's not going to get beat up today. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
Greg, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. Tonight I'll be playing Gephardt Caparelli, who's dead. Back to you, Mike.
That's true. You are dead. Someone soon to be dead. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I'm Sam, twitch.tv/WisnFool, Twitter @TheWisnFool. I'm playing JP, and maybe I'll do the beating of the up. You don't know that.
Or the down. Either one. One of the two will happen.
One of those two things.
Will happen. One of those things will happen to one of the two of you, at least. So, and the other...
I would take that bet.
Yeah. And the other end of the beatdown, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? Yeah, that's it. You're not playing anyone today.
Who's getting a beatdown? I'm sorry, I'm not on any end of this at all. It's between you and Harold.
Yeah.
I didn't do a damn thing. I'm not the one who decided to step in, have this big imaginary moment where he's like this cool, like noir gangster or noir, detective, hardboiled detective who's gonna cause problems. That's just not me. I don't know who you are.
I was playing pretend. Be the bigger adult.
Be the adult, Harold.
God.
Who's an adult? What's an adult? All right. Anyways. Bye.
Where can we find you on the internet, Johnny?
You can't. You can't find me. I'm nowhere because my name isn't Johnny. My name isn't Video Store Cowboy. Apparently, I'm Captain Nerd today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I wanted to see how long you'd fucking wait to find that.
I've been trying to figure out something to change it to say something better, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I don't have time. I have to prepare for a game. The hell with you. All right, you know what? Malcolm is starting with a complete disadvantage at the beginning of this. Your first roll is going to be a freaking failure. It's going to be a hard move against you.
That's fair. That's fair. And I will be reprising my role as every Mike's favorite Malcolm to save the day and play pretend. And before we jump into things and handing someone to Johnny, I'll remind you guys of the ways you can interact with the show. Down below, you can hit that donation button, or you can do likes, retweets, or follows, retweets, and subs and all that stuff. Speaking of subs, Greg, thank you for that 6-month sub. And oh yeah, we're doing a giveaway. Guys, go check out the giveaway, !point giveaway in the chat right there. We're giving away a copy of the massive tome that is the 6&Twenty. Well, no, that's not true. The City of Mist core book. 500 plus pages of comic book art and all kinds of fun stuff. That goes on for one more week. But if you don't win it there, you can enter the coupon code 6&Twenty fan on the website and get $5 off your purchase of the core book and PDF. And with that, Johnny, what happened last time?
I'm just going to say this right now. No, nobody actually needs Malcolm. Everybody just loves Malcolm.
Everyone needs Malcolm.
No,
he's like
nobody.
He's like a Thneed.
See,
a what?
He's like a Thneed.
Thank you, everyone who got that. Everyone needs a Thneed.
Everyone needs Malcolm because everyone needs somebody to love.
So what would the name of the sitcom be? Because it's not going to be Malcolm in the Middle, is it? It's going to be something better than that, right?
It's not. I'm way more famous than Frank and Eunice.
Not that he remembers it or anything.
Oh.
All right. So, are we done making jokes at good old Frankie's benefit? And so, okay.
I don't think so.
All right. So previously on 6&Twenty Metropolis, Flora made a new friend. His name is Anatoly Vidalis, and he is quite a sinister guy who owns a bar by the name of, or a restaurant by the name of Persephone. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. After having quite a good conversation, it appeared that Flora made a little bit of a date with him, or made arrangements to meet with him again, and then the crew kind of exited Xanadu before they got themselves into any more trouble. At which point, everybody headed back to Mr. G's workshop, where they had a conversation with Flicker. Or no, I'm sorry, the conversation with Flicker happened at Xanadu. And it basically boiled down to concern over Malcolm and lots of little information for Gephardt regarding what he would find if he was to continue exploring information in relation to Pandora's Delights, the company owned by the Dere sisters. At the last of it, Flicker expressed concern that Gephardt might be overextending himself and making himself vulnerable, as somebody was asking questions in regards to Gephardt Caparelli in prison, with little concern for what actually happens to the fake Gephardt. The crew goes about their separate ways, and JP and Malcolm decide that they're going to go pay a visit to a good friend of Malcolm's by the name of Fadi, who works at the Old Quarter Library. Fadi, being quite an eccentric kind of an individual, reluctantly gives Malcolm a book on dragons as he begins to fight off other invaders and thieves into the Old Quarter Library. To which we cut to daytime, where JP had made arrangements with Mr. Gallows to have a meeting with Harold Bjorn, and decided to bring Malcolm along. Malcolm and JP have that visit. It's going swimmingly as Malcolm begins to offer Harold a number of slices of pizza, until Malcolm gets a little frustrated and imagines himself as a hard-boiled detective in a black and white 40s noir film, and interviews good old Harold Bjorn as a hard-boiled crime boss, getting all kinds of interesting tidbits of information. But as the imaginary world and this imaginary vision begins to kind of fade, JP realizes that there's problems, and he grabs Malcolm and breaks through the window to jump to another building from a high-rise that is Aesir Industries. And as they land using a fair bit of gumption and fairy dust, they see something coming out of the sky as a lightning strike happens quite near them. And they see Harold flying towards them, hammer in hand. And that's where we open up. JP, Malcolm, you're looking up in the sky. You can see this gigantic being heading towards you. I mean, he's larger than life, and he's got a hammer, and there's a storm brewing behind him. What do you do?
Oh, look how cool that is.
Malcolm, get behind me.
Okay.
And then I will run and leap towards him.
You're gonna run and leap towards Harold as he's coming at you?
Be careful, you're not a ninja.
I'm gonna try to meet him in the air. I can give you a move. I have an idea of what move this might be.
Is this taking a risk?
I mean, if it's take a risk, face danger. Eventually, I'm trying to get to a point where I can either go toe-to-toe or hit him with all I've got.
Well, wait a minute. You want to go toe-to-toe with him.
Fly.
So you're basically going to disregard your safety, disregard Malcolm and his safety, and that whole little nice little like touching speech that Gephardt gave you last time.
Well, no, that's why Malcolm needs to be behind me, because then I can intercept this guy and Malcolm will be behind us. That's the whole idea.
Okay. So, what are you doing then? It's your move.
I mean, if I can go toe-to-toe with him, I will.
You are more than welcome to go toe-to-toe with him. I guarantee you're not going to get dynamite.
I mean, I don't have that open, so it's fine. All right, let's try it. So JP's gonna try to like leap off the building and meet him in there, and is gonna try to hit him without getting walloped by a hammer.
Okay.
So I would like to use my tags: supernatural strength, defiant charge.
Okay.
High flying leaps, body like a mountain, martial arts, striking, and
hold on. Because you're throwing so many on here, we're going to go back through them one by one, and we're going to talk about them. Because if you're going to start loading enough, I need to understand the justification for each of them.
Sure. So
All right,
just
so let's-
keep in mind, I'm starting with a -1 because I'm still bruised.
Yes, I know. But let's go ahead and talk through these two. So
All right.
start at the beginning. What's the first one that you wanted to do?
Body like a mountain because I'm jumping through the air and trying to hit this guy. And it hurts more because JP is JP.
So why does body like a mountain? Mountains are typically, aren't they typically something that is immovable? Aren't they stable? Aren't they something that isn't in motion?
So I'm imagining that this like move would encompass an interchange between Harold and JP. So presumably I'm trying not to get hurt as well as deliver a hit to this guy.
Okay. But the word mountain implies immovable. I'm just trying to get you to really sell me on it, because if it's that whole, if it's too essentially invincible, quote unquote, things, then that even that doesn't really count as the mountain. So I want you to sell me on it. I really want you to sell me on each of these, because you're throwing so many of these at you, because it sounds like what you want to do is you want to hit him once and basically try to gain the advantage here. So you're going to have to sell me on those.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So I don't have to use it, but the reason why I was thinking is because, like, if I fail to roll well on this, which is what the tags do effectively mechanically. So, like, the narrative explanation is if I roll poorly, that's implying that I am getting hit and taking damage. Whereas if I roll well and invoke this tag, what I think that implies is that I am getting hit, but it doesn't matter because JP has got supernatural toughness.
Right, but you're invoking that it's the unstoppable force, immovable object scenario, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Go with that, and then you've got high flying leaps. That seems obvious to me. What else?
I think defiant charge is pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so that's 3.
Supernatural strength helps me hit good.
Okay.
Martial arts and striking also let me hit good.
How does martial arts apply when flying through the air at essentially a god?
Crouching tiger, hidden monkey.
Haven't you watched any wire fighting movies?
You are not flying through the air wire fighting at this point.
Okay, then we can.
So I'm just trying to get you to support all of this. I need clearer explanations than that, because you're throwing so many things at this.
Sure, I mean that makes sense to me. So I'll hold off on that one.
Okay.
How about acrobatics?
So you want striking and then acrobatics. That makes sense. That's 6.
All right, and I think that's all I've got.
You're not going to throw a will of iron at it?
Oh yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay, good, because I'm going to throw pride and naivety or naive at this as well. So you're going to invoke those 2 weakness tags.
All right.
So all together, let's look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positive. You've got the 2 weaknesses plus the status effect.
Yeah, I've got replication marks because I had to put one of my tags in the same box, so I have to just mark a different one instead.
All right. Well.
Cool. Well, let's find out how this goes. Boom.
JP, there's no power tags there.
I think that the sheet is borked.
She is borked. So yes, 4. So you had 7 minus 3 is going to be 4. So another 4, which means this result's going to be a minor success. Okay. So on a 7 or 9, choose one of the following. You can achieve your goal. You can get them good, which means, and give them a status tag, tier equals power. Or you can block damage or counter their best attempts, which means you don't take a status effect, but you also don't achieve your goal.
I will. I will block damage or counter their best attempt, because I think what I'm doing narratively is I'm trying to like intercept and block him from coming down and smashing the building that Malcolm is on.
Okay.
So I think JP pushes Malcolm behind him and leaps through the air, and essentially I think like as this hammer wielding god is coming down into him, JP tries to like jump into him and land a hit, but all he's really able to do is like kind of slow him down a little bit and get in his way. Unfortunately, unable to really land a good shot or kill.
Okay, so he's coming flying in, and you jump up, and you meet him head on, and you connect. You know, your punch is beginning to connect with him, but he moves at the same time, sort of rolling out of it, kind of veering off to the side, and so your momentum carries you through, and you're kind of continuing on through this jump, and you eventually land on a building, probably a couple 100 feet away at another rooftop, probably another 5 or 6 stories down. But as you roll, he kind of veers off and kind of rolls a little bit, and then moves around to begin an approach and attack you.
Cool. That's good.
And that's when the hair on your arms begins to kind of rise up a little bit, as you can feel the static electricity as there was a lightning bolt coming your direction.
Oh.
Given how fast things are moving, typically lightning bolts would just hit you. However, you can face danger here. You can go toe to toe again.
I guess I'll try to face this danger.
Okay.
I'm trying to imagine what this looks like. We're in air, basically, like a ways away from anything I could like plant off of other than him, right?
No, you landed on another building.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. So I think the way that JP tries to avoid this, man, I definitely can't like dodge it really because it's lightning.
You can, because you can feel it building up. That's the whole thing about the static electricity and the energy in the air kind of building up.
Okay,
you realize something's instinctively danger is coming at you. That's why I'm giving you an opportunity to kind of face danger here.
Yeah. So he's going to try to hurl himself out of the way, and if possible, he's going to try to move towards Malcolm so that he can get back into protecting him. But his primary concern here is not getting hit by lightning, or at the very least, getting hit by as little of it as possible.
Okay.
So I'm facing danger. I believe Body Like a Mountain definitely helps me on this one.
Okay.
Acrobatics for nimbly leaping out of the way.
Okay.
And I guess, man. I guess, does my ability to jump far and fast help me avoid this? Probably. So probably high flying leaps.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because you're obviously in a place where you're going to have to use that ability regardless.
Right. All right. I think those are probably the ones that are going to help me here. And does my bruises probably still hurt me?
You do, but your weaknesses are not going to, or your weaknesses are going to get invoked unless you want to invoke one. Because at this point, I think you're fully aware of the gravity of this situation, because you've seen Harold in his, you're seeing him in his, essentially his avatar state. So
yeah, that's reasonable. I'm not going to do that because I'm at a +2 right now, which is already not that great.
Okay.
I'm not going to use the sheet this time because it's not working. That's another 8.
That's an 8. Okay, so let's see. On a 7 or 9, you take the status, but with a -1 tier on it. On a miss, you take the full. Okay, so here's the thing about this. This is a pretty significant status, so I'm going to reduce it a little bit more because I expected Face Danger to give you a little bit more of a push. So what I'm going to do is instead make a ruling that your power is going to reduce. 7 or 9 is going to reduce the status effect that you're going to receive for it. You would have received electrocuted status 4. Now you're going to receive a singed status 2, which is on top of your bruised.
So I remember reading this, and are these going to be 2 separate tiers, or is this going to stack on top of that other physical status?
One is...
Oh, wait, no, it would just replace it, wouldn't it? I think that's how the rule works. If you get a higher status of the same type...
It depends on how we count this, because there's no specific discussion about damage in a normal sense, like in D&D, where there's like different types of damage. I think it's more appropriate to think about it as like physical, mental, or spiritual in this particular case. The singed is definitely physical, as the same as bruised. So let's go ahead and just say that replaces the bruised with a status of 2. We'll call it singed.
That sounds like a good ruling to me. All right. And am I with Malcolm again?
You are flying in the air towards him. We're going to cut to Malcolm, who is just kind of witnessing this and going, cool?
Yeah.
What does Malcolm do?
No. He's yelling at the top of his lungs, "That was awesome!" And then you jumped to the one building to the other building, and he was like, "Ka-ka-ka!" When he shot you with lightning. Did you see the lightning? That was cool. Oh, you're coming back this way? Okay, cool. Come back this way. Come on.
Malcolm,
yes.
Help in some way, or get out of, or do something.
Oh, okay.
As he's still flying towards you as this is happening.
Are they? So they're both in the air, like between buildings.
So Harold is currently flying off in another direction and kind of turning around to follow JP back towards you. You saw the lightning strike hit. It barely hit. I mean, it barely got. JP was barely able to get out of there by that time, but he got hit by some of the effect of it. And so you see him a little singed. He looks like a little burnt around the edges.
Okay.
His hair is kind of, standing up as, it's the tiny amount of hair that he has is kind of like standing up and,
Okay. Does it look like Harold is going to land on the roof?
No.
Okay. Looks like he's just staying aerial, huh?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing to do while they're in the air. I just kind of stand there and cheer them on about how cool it was. Once they land, or if they land, I'll get in there, but...
Okay.
Right now you're fucked.
So JP, you land and you see Harold coming back towards you as Malcolm is just kind of enjoying himself.
Do the superhero pose!
Is he flying to me, or is he flying toward, do I have to intercept him from hitting Malcolm?
He's obviously coming after you right now because you intercepted him.
Good.
You intercepted him once he decided to follow you instead of Malcolm.
So JP will look at Malcolm and he'll go, you might want to fly in a minute here. And what JP is going to do is as Harold tries to pass him, I want to try to get out of the way and then just punch him down into the roof. Hopefully through the roof if this goes well.
Wait, you're telling Malcolm to go away to chase, and you want Harold to chase him?
No. Harold's coming at me, right?
Yes, Harold's coming at you.
I'm warning Malcolm to fly because I'm worried I'm going to destroy the roof. Because as he flies towards me, I'm going to try to get out of the way at the last minute and then punch him down through the roof.
Okay. So what's Malcolm doing?
Absolutely not flying. This is the coolest thing that's happened in weeks. And the most cool thing that JP's ever done. He's standing here and watching every part of this. In fact, he imagines popcorn and eats it.
Okay. So he comes in, and so you're going toe-to-toe with him again, right?
Yeah, if I could hit him with all I've got, that would be good too. But it seems more toe to toe.
Okay, so as he's getting closer, you see him starting to spin his hammer. Like he's starting to spin it, and it's getting faster and faster and faster.
So what is JP wearing?
That's a great question, because it's singed.
JP is wearing whatever what did he wear to the meeting? I think.
Oh, you wore your suit. You wore your suit.
No.
The
you
one
wore your
suit.
nicest suit.
No.
The suit that what's his name gave you money to buy it.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to roll a change the game, Johnny. To create a story tag.
No.
Okay, cool.
So I think like as JP like sees that the hammer begins to like spin around, I think like there's a moment where like a thought bubbles into his head that he like doesn't really know like where it's coming from, and the thought is like, man, I wish I had my weapon right now. And then it's like too late to really like investigate the thought. He's like back into the action, and yeah, he'll try to avoid getting demolished by a legendary relic hammer and punch this guy through the ceiling.
So
Okay.
before impact happens, Malcolm's gonna roll. I'm gonna roll change the game to have Malcolm conjure something out of his imagination. I'm gonna use the tags "We Kill Pirates," "Bangarang," because this is the coolest shit that's happened in a while, "Shadow Manipulation," and I think "Clap If You Believe."
Why cop if you believe?
Because I'm making it for someone else. And I think JP still has status 1 believer. Or tier 1 believer. Or at least he just did in the last scene.
I think that was only a scene thing.
Yeah. That's up to you. That last one's up to you.
Alright, I'll get to you.
Cool. So, change the game. Please don't suck. Great success! Okay, so create summon new object with one tag of your choice.
Okay.
And he shouts. So the first thing is he shouts out to JP, seeing that Harold is swinging the hammer and coming in to hit him, and he says, "JP, ninjas wear black!" And then you just see shadows race across the rooftop and then up JP's legs, and now he's wearing a full black gi, and you have tier 1 armor. So that's for defense. You have a shadow gi.
Excellent.
I don't know what to do after that. That was my whole plan. I wasn't prepared for 4 things.
Technically 5, so you
5,
can prolong the effect.
Jiminy Cricket. No, it just needs to last for this scene.
Okay.
You could help heal me. The armor could be healing magic armor.
Is that
Actually,
a thing?
you could do that. You could reduce the status harm since it's a great success.
Oh yeah. So then, as soon as you feel the armor like all around you, as soon as you start to like move in it, as you realize you're covered in armor, that same like golden dust seems to emanate off of you, and you feel invigorated. So I'll reduce your damage by 1, and then I think that's it. I'll just bank 3 until I figure out what the hell to do with them.
No, you're gonna reduce his status by 1.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what the hell's the status? I don't know what it is.
He's at tier 2 tier 2 singed.
Okay, yeah. So then I guess so. If he's singed, the armor kind of heals him up. So I'll raise it by 2. So that leaves me with 2 points left.
2 juice left for the scene. Okay.
Yeah. That works. That's what he does. He screams that out. Ninjas wear black.
Thank you, Malcolm.
All right.
Yeah.
So what are you going toe to toe?
Stand steady, go toe to toe, and face the bull head on.
Okay.
Does the body like a mountain help more for me here, where I'm actually
Your foundation, your base, you're fully planted. So body like a mountain definitely goes for it.
Supernatural strength.
Yes.
Definitely martial arts and striking, both for the getting out of the way and for the delivering of a solid punch on a moving target.
Absolutely.
And Will of Iron for standing fast in the face of charging God of Thunder.
and armor.
Oh, correct. Well, does the armor help me here? Or is that only defensive?
It's defensive.
Okay.
But are you going toe to toe?
It's going to reduce any status that he takes.
Oh, okay, cool. That works.
But unless you're going to invoke this on me already, I think I'm going to invoke pride against myself.
Okay, go ahead and take it.
I want to back down here.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Roll it.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1 is 4. And then plus. Wait, did we decide no +1 for the armor?
No, there's no. Yeah, this is the armor is defensive, right? It's only going to reduce your status, right? It's a story tag for you to reduce your status by 1.
That's what I thought. Boom.
Okay. All right. So describe to me what happens as he's coming towards you and the hammer is spinning at you.
Yeah. So I think the hammer's spinning, and JP kind of is able to step like around he is able to like avoid the hammer with his footwork, and like strikes with his elbow against the side of Harold's hammer arm, and then just punches down with his right hand and sends him through the roof that we're on. And since I get to choose 2 here, I would like to get him good and avoid and counter his best attempt.
Okay, counter his best attempt and get him good. Okay, yep. So as you kind of push him out and then kind of knock him down, he slams into, with full force of his momentum, slams right into the building, and it shudders under the impact, but he doesn't go through. Because as you're essentially throwing a tier 4 power at attack at him, status at him, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he's invincible, so it gets reduced by 3 immediately. As he just kind of slams down, kind of looks up to you, and then swings back with his hand, throwing a punch at you. So you're going to have to face danger or go toe-to-toe again.
All right. So if I can go toe-to-toe, I don't know that there's any real reason to face danger instead.
The difference is that you could fail horribly or fail with 1 success, or you could get a partial success and get yourself.
Oh, sorry. I could have
counter it versus, facing danger where there could be some mutual benefit to it versus you just almost completely avoiding it or taking a reduced status. And as of right now, his punch is not going to be as significant as his hammer hit or his lightning strike. So
sure.
So it's entirely up to you. It's just a mechanic. It's mechanically how the scene goes.
Yeah, I think this is toe-to-toe, and I think the reason is like JP is now in the position he wanted to be in, right? Like he's no longer trying to fight this guy in the air in his territory. Like he's brought Harold in to like brawl with him.
Okay.
And so he's just going to do that. He's just going to be like throwing kicks and punches. He's basically like, this is where JP lives, right? This is like his prime territory.
Where he thinks he lives, but okay.
I mean, he's a fighter, like boxer. Cool. Let's find out how this goes for me.
All right. Well, hold on a second. Malcolm's not behind you right now. You pushed him away in front of you. You said that specifically. So that's a weakness that's going in there as well.
Did I say that? All right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What? Of course it's fine.
Cool.
Do it.
So I think all of the same tags that I just used probably
they do apply. Do you want to continue to invoke pride as well?
I mean, it's probably still relevant.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? One thing that I do want to do here, if you'll allow it, is I would like to
No.
All right.
I
would like to make use of my new tag. And I think what this looks like is Harold's very, very strong, so I can't freeze him entirely. But with my body freezing spell, I can make it so that his movements are hindered, and it just makes his punch that much more difficult to throw.
Okay. Sure. I mean, not like punches are the only thing that he can do, but sure.
Yeah, but that's what he's doing right now. So, cool. Let's try this again. So that's 1, 2, -2. That's again 4. Ugh, 9.
Pick one, buddy. You know how this goes.
Yeah.
You know which one you're going to have to pick.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to just do the damage to him and get him good and take the hit. So I get socked in the face, but like JP lands a good kick while he's getting punched.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what, another 4. Okay, so it gets reduced by 3 immediately, and you get him again. However, because he's got a tier 1 status on him right now, bruised. He's now, broken ribs, let's say, of tier 2, but he hits you with a tier 2 status of fractured jaw, which gets reduced by 1 to bruised jaw from Malcolm's armor.
Yeah, I'm imagining this is like JP lands this like body kick as he's just getting clocked in the face. Oh, good. Malcolm, do you want to help me? Please.
You're doing great. Is he still on the ground? This Harold Bjorn guy?
He's getting up now. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend my last 2 juice.
Juice.
So the first one is I'm gonna create 2 temporary tags. I think.
No.
Yeah. So the first tag is.
No.
Oh, okay. So the first tag is when JP looks over and goes, "Are you gonna help me?" I look over and go, "Oh yeah, hold on." And I look over to him, and then shadows, like his own shadow, just sort of grabs his feet. So I'm gonna have him stuck 1. Which would probably make like JP's attack easier, and it would last until he like breaks out of it, I think. So that's like a removable tag. And then temporary. So that would be add a new temporary tag to 1 character. And then the second one would be because Mr. G told me that anytime I'm in trouble, all I have to do is just give a little whistle. So I'm going to create the story tag, give a little whistle, and I whistle to summon Pinocchio.
Okay. I can't wait to destroy that wooden piece of crap. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, so you just see Malcolm pull a whistle out of nowhere and go, "Oh yeah, hold on!" And he like blows the whistle for what seems like no reason.
Can't wait for this. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so as Harold's trying to get up, he's struggling because he starts laughing, all like wholeheartedly. Oh, okay. He starts laughing wholeheartedly at this, and he's just kind of, I haven't had this much fun since I fought the ice giants. And he swings the hammer around and throws it at Malcolm.
Shit.
I got it. I got this one.
I can't wait to see what you do here. What are you gonna do here, Malcolm? What are you gonna do here? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna use flight, uncanny parkour. Man. So this is fairly awesome. I don't know if I would use this as a game, but I'm gonna use Bangarang. Fuck it, I'm gonna use everything as a game because this is a blast. So I'm gonna use flight, uncanny parkour, Bangarang, and everything's a game to face danger.
If I have time to help Malcolm before this, I would like to do a change the game the way he did for me to try to help him before this happens. But
yeah, it's not going to happen, buddy, because he just became a situation where Malcolm just kind of entered himself into the combat. Well, it's going. Yeah. Great success. Good job.
So he's like it throws the hammer, and then Malcolm just jumps into the air and flies like over it, and he's like, "Whoa, that was so cool, JP! Did you see the thing?" And he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and it was like as it went by.
I got one better. Okay. May I take over
a
little bit?
Go ahead.
Harold just swings the hammer, throws it. You jump up in the air and land on the hammer.
It keeps going.
And you start flying back, and you're yelling, and you're going crazy because you're just sailing off with the hammer.
I like it. I dig it. And it comes back.
And as it's coming back, you're surfing it as it's coming back, giving you an opportunity of attack on your.
Yeah,
JP, now's your time to change the game.
All right. So as Harold looks up in distraction, JP is going to try to alter the situation in our favor a little bit by multiplying in number. This time he's going to try to have them be wearing clothes. I want to specify that up front.
Are you sure? I mean, because Marty seemed to enjoy the change in clothes, or the lack of clothes. I mean,
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that I want them to have clothes this time.
Okay.
Right. So my the things that I would like to use here are replication. I think trickery and pranks, because I don't think he is expecting me to all of a sudden be many JPs, unless he knows a lot more about me than I think. And then I'm hoping that I can use Will of Iron, because it's specifically in my Protect My People theme book.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Malcolm's still not behind you, though.
That is still true.
He's surfing a hammer.
That is, yep. All right. And I also have a -1 status still. Oh.
No, you don't.
Didn't I just take another one?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I'm sorry. You took bruised jaw. My bad. I was still thinking of bruised the last time.
So does that physical, yeah, it probably, I mean, it
counts as a weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, it just hurts. All right. So I'm just rolling with a +1. Let's see how it goes. Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, JP, I would like you to describe to me what it's like when you fail to create clones. Or, sorry, that you failed to create clones with the targeted intent. You may still create clones, but what happens to them? That's all I'm going to give you in respect to guidance. Tell me what happens.
Man, that's a great question. What does happen? So he's specifically making these clones to help him gang up on. Okay, you know what it is. So JP does multiply. His like he has his strands of hair float out and they begin to transform. But instead of a bunch of full-size JPs, you have a bunch of like action figure sized JPs. Like a swarm of like JP army men. That's where we're at.
How many of these G.I. Joe size JPs are running around?
Probably like a solid half dozen.
What do they do when they spawn out of you?
I think like a whole variety of things. They like, some of them start like kind of like freaking out about the whole situation. Some of them like aggressively start like grabbing at like Harold or JP's feet, like trying to get in on the action.
You ever see Army of Darkness?
No.
You know, there's a scene where Ash gets infected and he gets split and like he kills himself and then like little ashes come out of nowhere and they're like around like boink and they poke him in the eyes and stuff and like making him step on nails and just dumb like Three Stooges stuff. That's all I could think of was tiny little JPs.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I think they're probably equal opportunity assailants. Like I just don't think they really know what's going on.
Okay. And so they all start kind of running around. A couple of them begin to kind of mess with you a little bit. A couple of them begin to mess with Harold. And Harold begins to laugh even more as he's reaching for his hammer out. As he sees that Malcolm is still, surfing it, waiting for the hammer to arrive. You're almost there, Malcolm. Do something awesome with your surfside hammering.
Yeah, so I'm going to use... I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna use uncanny parkour. I'm gonna use uncanny parkour, we kill pirates, and crow call as he comes back around, and he has like his arms out like he's surfing, and then he makes the crow, and as it goes to land in his hand, he jumps off, and I'm gonna just Mario jump on Bjorn's head.
All right.
I'm gonna hit it with all I've got. 7 minor. So I hit, inflicting a status upon the target, tier equals power, and then I choose 1 tag. I'm gonna take cover behind him. Or actually, I'm gonna jump on him like a Koopa Troopa, and then I'm gonna land behind JP. So he takes a tier 3 or whatever. He takes a 0 because he has like invincible or whatever. But I Koopa stomp his head.
Hey! And he as his hammer comes in, he kind of swings over his head trying to get you, but you're already gone behind JP. As he, with all of his strength, just kind of shoots up with the hammer, just kind of raised above him, and pulls away from the shadows as the shadows that were holding him are kind of just still kind of holding on, and he kind of leaps up into the air. And at that point we hear crunch, 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 crunch as Pinocchio arrives. Gephardt, what's it gonna do?
Well, as my sacred relic, Pinocchio is going to see that his summoner, Malcolm, has been engaged in some type of fisticuffs. And though Pinocchio has the basest of intelligence, he knows one thing. There is a flamboyant hammer wielder in front of him that needs to go for a ride. So the 8-foot-tall Pinocchio lands, and with his ability to ignore armor, tries to beat the fuck out of this guy with both of his big ape-like arms as he comes in.
Okay, well, so Pinocchio lands as Thor shoots off, right? Harold has shot off with his hammer in full Thor mode, and he's coming around. Oh, he jumps after him?
Yes.
All right. So is this what is this? Let's see. Is this a hit him with all you got? Is this kind of a toe-to-toe kind of a thing? Because clearly he's facing away, or is this a change the game?
Initially, I was going to say change the game, but now that he is in hot pursuit, I think I'm going to do a little toe-to-toe action.
Okay. All right. So there is going to be a weakness, or there is going to be a status against you on this one because you're chasing somebody. So there's going to be a -1 status. Other than that, I don't see any weaknesses that are going to apply for you. So what of your theme book is going to apply in respect to your relic?
Obviously, the Pinocchio, wood everywhere. I'd argue create from wood or bring creations to life, since both or one of those at least apply to Monsieur Pinocchio.
Pick either one. One of them definitely works. And then you're going to say what?
Okay, yeah. So that would be 4
3 minus 1. Yeah, 4 to 3.
4 to 3. Okay, so 2d6 plus 3, since we're not using the.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, guys.
13.
Okay, so going toe to toe with him, you get 2 of those. Tell me which 2 that you want.
I would like to achieve my goal, which was to beat the fucking snot out of this guy. I'd like to take him out of the air and dodge whatever shit he is going to hit him with. So I want him to grab him by the ankle and with all of his force throw him back down to the roof, and then come back down and roll up, very simian, just kind of jumping off to the side of him as he's kind of circling like a boxer.
Oh!
If Pinocchio is hurling him down, I would like JP to set up and be ready there as he's like hurtling down to the ground to meet him there by throwing a wallop of a kick using the momentum that I am granted from Pinocchio.
Momentum that you're granted from Pinocchio throwing him down?
Yeah, so he's like throwing him down, and then I'm like setting myself up so as he comes down, I can just use that momentum to kick back up at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm hoping that's hit with all I've got.
No, because it's going to be toe to toe because your arms are starting to tingle.
Okay, so hold on a second, Johnny. If I'm toe to toe would be, if I'm gonna achieve my goal is to hit him. So I can use you get them good, giving your opponent a status with tier equals power, right?
Yep, but then you're going to take some equal status and power on Pinocchio.
Right, but if I have 2 of those, so if I do one,
you manage to achieve your goal, right? So that means that you catch him and throw him back. You can do something else, which one of the other 2 ones. You can get him good, which means you can do tier equals. You can do a status on him, which is tier equal power. So in that particular case, it was 3, or you can block, dodge, or counter his attack and get into a better position to prevent yourself from taking damage. Because if you don't do that, Harold is going to attack Pinocchio as well as this happens, and Pinocchio is going to take damage.
So
I would like to then achieve the goal and counter the best.
Right. That's the way you described it before, and I thought that made total sense because ultimately, Pinocchio it appears to be smart enough to be defensive about how he makes his moves. That's the way you played him before. So
the other thing to keep in mind is we know that a tier 3 status won't actually hurt him, so it's better.
Except that, Greg, what was the power tag that you said that you had about ignoring armor?
Yeah, he's an ancient relic, so he ignores armor.
Yeah. So
cool. All right. So I'm about to get struck by lightning again. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's happening. So you can go toe to toe, or you can face danger and get out of the way.
No, I'm going toe to toe. I'm here. Right. So again, body like a mountain. I'm being the immovable force.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural strength.
Okay.
Martial arts and striking.
Okay.
And Will of Iron, I guess, again.
Okay.
Same tags I've been using. Malcolm is behind me now.
But I'm going to invoke pride.
All right, that's fair. So I get -2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at +3 right now. If I could find one more tag, that would help me a lot.
Armor.
That's defensive, though.
You're going toe to toe, right?
Oh,
Armor's
yeah.
defensive.
But if I fail this roll, I get struck by lightning. So,
So go toe to toe. Oh, well, I guess the armor. What's right? Never mind. The armor isn't a thing. It just reduces your damage by 1.
right,
He never specified that it was anything, so it's still physical damage, right? So
right.
the fact that the armor is there, it's going to protect you, absolutely.
I forget it's
okay,
not a tag. It's a.
I'll try to use the body freezing spell again, so that it makes it harder for him to move in the air and avoid my hit.
Okay.
Cool. All right, let's do it. +4. Come on. Yeah.
Okay. So you went toe to toe with him. You get 2.
All right. I will. I don't really have a goal, so I guess I'll just again get him good, and I will block the lightning. I think based on the way unless that's. Oh, go ahead.
Are you sure you want to get him good? Because, okay, so think about this for a second before we talk about the narrative. I want to talk about the mechanics of this real quick. You know that your attacks do not immediately get reduced by 3 statuses, right? So it's going to be a status 1, right? If you block or counter, it means you're not going to take damage from the lightning attack, right? That status 2 that he has is going to absorb that status 1, and it's going to build up until he gets 3 of those to move to status 3. So right, so because it's 2 plus, it's 2 plus the number, right? It's got to be another 2 before it's actually going to move to a status 3. It's sort of damage. So my suggestion would be to achieve your goal, which is whatever your goal is, like kick him back up or do whatever, kind of keep him out of play in some way rather than doing damage to him, and then take advantage of that, or give Malcolm or Pinocchio the ability to take advantage of that, versus inflicting a little bit of damage and not not having as great effect as it could be.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. So what I think I'm gonna do is achieve my goal, and what my goal is here is that I'm like hitting him hard enough that even if he doesn't like actually take damage, that he's like gets the breath knocked out of him. He's gonna be like need a minute to get himself back up on his feet. He's dazed.
That implies a status effect.
Okay.
You can put him in a position, like I said. So you're kicking him, right? So you're kind of, he's coming down. Pinocchio has basically just gone, ape shit monkey, jumped up, grabbed him, thrown him back down, and then has landed. Is going to land sort of like in a roll and prone position, ready for the next attack. So what? As he's coming down, you're going to kick him, as I understand it. Are you kicking him out? Are you kicking him up?
I'm trying to set up Pinocchio and Malcolm. So like what I'm imagining that looking like is him taking a minute to like collect himself. But how we want to describe that is if that's just like he gets tossed back up in the air, I'm totally fine with that.
All I'm suggesting is that the way that you're describing it narratively implies an actual status effect, even if it's temporary, rather than a narrative situation that basically kind of sets up. He's not going to be taken out of the action. He's not going to need a second. Is my point, unless he was to get a status of some kind, of story tag or a status of some kind. Right?
All right. So basically, what I'm doing is instead of kicking him out, I'm knocking him back over towards where Pinocchio is landing.
Okay, Pinocchio. That means that as you're rolling down, JP kind of kicks him out and sends him flying towards you.
Okay, so now the Pinocchio is not at a disadvantage for having to be chasing somebody and someone's actually coming towards him. Does he get any bonuses for having the setup, or is this just he's getting knocked towards him? Okay, so that would be, instead of having that minus on the tags before, which made it 3, I have 4 now, correct?
Sure.
Okay.
So what are you doing here? What move are you accomplishing here?
Can I see what I roll first before I get real narrative?
Nope. You need to tell me what you're doing first before you roll.
What he's trying to do is, as JP kind of pushes him back, kind of like a tennis ball, and tethers him over to Pinocchio. Pinocchio is going to forward roll, try to catch him by the leg as he's coming around, and do the patented Hulk from Avengers 1 maneuver and just beat the fuck out of him back and forth on the thing and try to just smash the absolute dog shit out of this guy.
Okay, so is that a hit him with all you got, or is that take a risk? Because these are actually, those are 2 distinct possibilities in this particular case. Hit him with all you got. Hit him with all you got makes sense here in my head.
Yeah, he's going to hit him. Yeah, let's do that.
Hold on. The take a risk is you don't know what's going to happen once you grab onto him. Like if taking a risk means that you could still do some really interesting things and still get an effect here. So your choice.
It's okay. Grass type is good against lightning. You'll be fine.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and 10.
Greg nods, pretending he gets the reference.
Mankey is not a grass type, just so you know.
Damn it.
Okay, so you kind of swing him around, and on a 10, you get to choose 2 of those.
Let's see. I want to get them good. So that would be 4 plus 1 for 5, correct? And with Pinocchio's ignore armor, I don't know how that works on his ponytail's invincible shit, but he's going to do that. And he's also going to do, you control the collateral damage, which is he's going to throw him down through about 4 of the floors of the building. Boom, boom,
Okay.
boom.
Okay. No problem at all with that. As you're kind of slamming him around and throw him down, he goes through the roof of the structure, right? And you see him go, boom, boom, boom. JP, Malcolm, the building shakes under you as things begin to crumble. Pinocchio, you see this kind of shaking as well, and you start to fall through because you're right at the side of the impact. Malcolm, JP, what are you doing?
It's like 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
So this building should be full of screaming people, right?
There's a storm brewing too.
Yeah. Also, there's a building full of people. This guy just went through several floors. Right?
Well, you're on an 80-story building. I imagine the top floors are basically, heating, HVAC and, elevator mechanisms and stuff like that. Basically, the stuff that you'd find on a roof, but still, the structure under you has been damaged enough that it's going to start collapsing a little bit.
Okay, so there's no screaming collateral people that are getting crushed to death by falling debris.
Not yet.
Okay.
So JP is going to go, Malcolm, it's time to get out of here. You got to fly. And then he's going to try to grab Pinocchio and jump to another building and try to get the hell out of here.
Pinocchio's enormous. He's the size of a gorilla.
I'm super strong.
Oh, that's true. You did stop a car once.
Excuse the phrasing on this. I apologize. How do you grab the wood?
Firmly.
It's gentle with a reverse grip.
Yeah.
So it's very familiar for Pinocchio.
His arms are tingling, so he gives them the stranger.
I'm imagining I'm jumping through the rubble, and I reach out my hand, and hopefully Pinocchio will grab my hand so I can lift him out as I leap over.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I'll just reach and grab him by the hand, his enormous woody hand.
So that sounds to me like take a risk.
Cool.
You're not just trying to get away. You're taking a risk there, buddy.
I am taking a risk here. Okay. So, I would like to again use high flying leaps. I would like to use acrobatics, supernatural strength, and defiant charge. And I will let you invoke whatever weaknesses you want, because I'm already at a -1. I don't want to give myself any more.
Pride.
Pride again? Yay!
Roll it.
All right. That's +2. Nine. Things get messy.
Hard bargain or ugly choice. You can not save Pinocchio. Or you can, but you're going to take damage from something.
I still have the armor, right?
You do have the armor.
How much? Gephardt calls him his son. So I think JP would think that it was pretty important to Gephardt.
What makes you think that Pinocchio can't take care of himself?
Because JP has a pathological need to protect everyone he's around.
Then why didn't you grab Malcolm?
Because Malcolm can fly.
But Malcolm's not flying right now.
Didn't he say he was? I guess I'll leave him. I gotta leave him. Especially if Malcolm's not okay.
Well, what's Malcolm doing? Let's set that up first.
Oh yeah, I did land. That's true. I did land. Malcolm's not super smart. So JP, what does it look like you're doing? Does it look like you're running towards Pinocchio? Towards Lil P? if you glance back to make sure that Malcolm's okay, you see Malcolm sort of jump into the air like he's going to take flight, and as you go to turn away, being like, oh, he's totally fine, he dives into the hole.
Well, in that case, I'm leaving the giant wooden monkey and I'm going after Malcolm.
Okay, so you save Malcolm, right?
No, Malcolm's diving into the hole.
It sounds like I just have to follow him.
Okay, so you rolled take a risk to save somebody. It was originally Pinocchio. Are you taking a risk to save JP or Malcolm?
Yeah.
Okay, so describe to me what you do as Malcolm begins to jump through the hole.
I would like to intercept him and get the fuck out of here.
All right, we'll describe that narratively.
So JP lunges and heads towards Pinocchio as Pinocchio begins to fall. And he sees like the floor go out under Pinocchio. He turns back and sees Malcolm dive into the hole. And he's going to just try to intercept Malcolm and hopefully not die upon landing.
Okay. And you intercept Malcolm. And where do you end up? You succeeded. Narrate it.
Okay, yeah. So JP snags Malcolm. We bust out through another window of this building that's collapsing as we fall through the floor. And I think then we go flying and like go rolling and skidding on a lower building. Oh, you're muted.
Only the top 4 floors are actually collapsing at this point, just FYI.
Right. So we fall through a floor. I jump, take him out the window, and then we land on another lower building.
Okay. And so Pinocchio continues to fall through the roof towards the down or through the 4 floors, through the hole that he created using Harold as his sort of focal point and force, right? And Pinocchio kind of lands, and you kind of see. Or Pinocchio kind of looks around and sees that Harold is sort of just lying on the ground, and he's barely moving, and he raises his hammer one last time, and the lightning crackles. Now Pinocchio can either face danger, or he can. That's basically it, because that's all that's really gonna. I mean,
I never got a chance to add what my type or number 5 status effect would be. Wouldn't it be?
He's down and out. He's totally down and out. With tier 5 status, he's down and out. He's doing this one last thing, and he's going to pass out.
Okay. Well,
you're not killing this character right now. Let's just be very clear about that. I told you guys before the stream.
No intention at all of doing that.
We're not murderers like Team Esper.
No, actually, you are. There's a murderer, right there, up there, controlling Pinocchio. But let's just not get into that.
What Pinocchio is going to do at this point is he is going to face danger and make sure that he does his best to avoid whatever is coming his way.
Okay, so hammer goes up. There is a lightning strike that is coming. As that power kind of goes out, the hammer kind of Harold just kind of leans back and falls. The hammer just kind of falls out of his grip, and he just lies there unconscious as Pinocchio hears there's like distant alarms going off, right? And so that lightning sort of comes down. Roll it for me. Roll with all your power tags that you've used currently. Just roll it.
Okay. Ooh.
Wow. So Pinocchio is going to be able to escape, but as he leaps out in a wave as that lightning strike is coming in, there is a streak that drives a groove across his back, and that groove is just sort of kind of inlaid in there and permanent until Gephardt can heal it. But it's clear that he was marked and marred, and it doesn't affect his jump, but he is clearly marked and. as he jumps away, Pinocchio is, moving a little bit slower based on the immobility that this sort of gash, this lightning gash sort of burn in his back is causing him. But he leaps away and escapes to safety. And that's where we're going to cut to Flora. We're on the phone, sorry.
No?
Flora, where do we find you on this fine, what is it, Saturday morning? I think is it Saturday or is it Sunday?
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
It
On this
doesn't
fine
matter.
Sunday morning.
Beautiful day today. We're baking cookies. We got up extra early this morning. We're packing a picnic and we're heading over to Mr. G's.
Okay. Where's Gephardt?
He's working on Flora's order. He almost has it done. And let's see, he's listening to a little, was it Kenny Loggins last time? What's he listening to now? You know what? He's going borderline 90s. And he's got a little Ladies Love Cool J on. And it's just for a change of pace. It's the weekend, so he wants to, don't call it a comeback, everybody.
Wow. Okay. So that's where you find Gephardt. God. So that's where you find Gephardt, Flora.
So Flora would be knocking on the door, and when you open, she's wearing one of those obnoxious with like the, what's it called? The shape dress, so it looks like a cupcake. She's in all pink, just like solid hot pink dress with a picnic basket and a bunch of other stuff in it.
Yeah, Gephardt unzips the wall, rocking the mic, putting suckers in fear. Come on in! And he waves her and zips the wall behind her. You look lovely.
Thank you. Would you like some cupcakes?
No, I avoid gluten.
That's fair. I made them for Malcolm anyway. I just figured I'd be polite.
I appreciate it. I'm being thoughtful as well. It makes me gassy.
I did make some, and she pulls out like a little bag. Dog treats. She just has
Oh! You did? Well, conveniently. And Gephardt whistles, and something runs over. And that's something I will allow Flora to describe.
So you would see how tall did we say? About 5 foot?
Yeah, 5 to 6 feet from
Yeah.
shoulder to heads. Yeah.
It would be about her height, like about 5'4"-ish. And it would just be a giant, big old puppy dog with 3 heads, with big, beautiful, pitch black eyes. And his tail is just going crazy as I'm holding up these treats. And you start to see this recognition or this joy on her face as she throws her arms around him. She drops everything. He's going for the treats. The right head's going for the treats. The middle one's licking her, and the one on the right is just really confused. As her new 3-headed buddy is back.
Gephardt points to the heads from left to right, and he says, "That's Sarah, Barry, and Gus."
Thank you. I'll get right on renaming them. I do appreciate it, Gephardt. He looks exactly like in my dreams. Beautiful craftsmanship.
Thank you.
Can we get him fitted with a saddle? Just kidding. She's gonna dig in her bag and start handing out, putting her hand out to all the different heads as she's continuing her conversation with Gephardt. Did you get my text?
I did, but technically they like fertilizer. Just FYI, it took me a while too with my son. Like the organic stuff.
You'll have to write down the brand. I don't do much.
It's shit, but
in that way.
I'll write it down. Yes.
Yes, I make my own fertilizer. Yeah. Totally kidding.
You see, it's weird because we all think poop.
So you didn't answer my text.
I refresh. What was the text again?
You couldn't read it.
Right, there was nothing there.
I was pretty sure. Can I see your phone?
Sure. He flips it open, hands it to her. It's right there. See? Blank.
You can't see this.
Am I supposed to be seeing something? There's just the phone, and from you, nothing.
Okay.
As you're watching, his left eye begins to glow.
Oh boy. We may have a problem here. It's not blank, but we'll talk about this later. It's fine. Hey, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm waiting on a call from the gentleman from the club so we can begin our investigations. Our next mission.
Sounds delicious. We're going to Persephone, correct?
Yes. Yes.
That's the name of the restaurant?
Yes. I think so.
I believe that's what you told me.
Her face gloss is over.
Are you okay? Flora?
What were you saying?
The restaurant where we were to go. Its name is Persephone.
I guess so, if you say so. I'm still waiting on a call from him. He hasn't answered me yet.
Okay.
Call yet.
Would you like to sit? Play with your soon-to-be renamed puppy?
Yes. And you see her start to look around the shop again as she's... How do you manage having your son in public? I'm afraid people will think he's bad. He's not normal, right?
He is a special boy. Mm-hmm. He tends to go out in the evening. If there is danger or need, he can go out at any time. I rely on the luck that I've had so far to make sure that he'll be okay.
And if I whistle, will he come?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. Isn't he adorable, though? And she starts unpacking stuff into the kitchen from the other room, all the snacks and stuff. Where are the boys?
I believe they went off on an errand. They are becoming quite the team, don't you think?
I would agree. Although JP's great with everyone.
He is. He is an excellent mentor for Malcolm.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know. Windows just told me that that's what I should say.
So as that comes in, you get an alert on your phones, and it reads the following. Metropolis Daily News. Text alert. Convicted murderer Gephardt Caparelli, dead. With the passing comes even more questions to his tragic and bizarre tale. Pandora's Delights has been implicated in numerous anonymous tips to local news outlets.
Gephardt reads it and pays it no mind.
Flora is staring at him, waiting for him to explain himself.
It's quite simple. One of me was in jail, taking my spot.
There's more than one of you?
Well, as so much as there's more than one flicker. I made another me to serve my time in prison so I could continue my investigation. if he was ever questioned without his attorney, his mission was to end his own life, which he did with flying colors. It also implicates Pandora's delights, so they should be on the defensive a bit.
You know, people don't give you enough credit.
Well,
And she
thank
goes
you.
over and puts her hand with her elbow-length gloves on his shoulder. There was something I was supposed to tell you.
I stand in eager anticipation.
I was there last night, and then I went. Oh, I need to get better about that. This is not good news, so lower tone. I have some bad news. I went to your old house last night.
My old house?
Yes. It is still vacant, you see.
Where's
You're
that?
also muted.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Sorry. I tried to contact any of your living your relatives to see if maybe it wasn't them, but something happened.
It's my old house. You mean where I grew up?
Where your family died.
Oh, my dear, this is not bad news. I'm not sure what you're speaking of. My mother has lost her mind, but she's alive. She's in an elder care facility just outside of town.
Where your wife died.
My wife? Oh, my dear, I've never been married.
She picks up her phone, walks to the kitchen. I'll be right back. I must have confused it with something else. And goes to the
Oh, sure. I was concerned for a moment.
Ring, ring.
Who are you calling?
Malcolm.
Malcolm doesn't have a phone.
It's Flicker's phone.
Oh.
It's Flicker's phone.
Does Flicker answer? Or does Malcolm answer?
The phone's ringing in your pocket. Flicker doesn't answer.
What is it? Hello? I'm on the top of a building. I can't talk right now.
Malcolm, come
There's a
home.
guy with a hammer.
Come home.
We're fighting a guy with a hammer.
I gotta come home right now.
JP's not a ninja, but I gave him a ninja costume.
Hand the phone to him.
He's fighting the guy with a hammer.
Fuck.
Oh.
Oh my god, Malcolm, he's a child. Okay, gotta go. Come home.
I'll be back as soon as I can. Bye. Boop.
Oh boy.
I'm imagining that's happening at the start of the fight where Malcolm was just like watching.
No, it's happening when he's riding the hammer. It's like the guy with the hammer. I gotta go.
So, Flora, is there any alcohol in your house, Mr. G?
No, it's flammable.
Yeah, there's no alcohol whatsoever in.
She goes on top of the fridge and gets a chocolate bar, one of Malcolm's, and sits on the kitchen table and just eats his chocolate bar thinking,
Malcolm's gonna be so mad.
I just brought him a bunch of treats. I don't think so.
Fair.
She's just like, oh, shit. Gephardt, how would you like to go for a picnic?
That sounds fine. I'm in between tasks right now. I seem to be dead, so I should be resting, I suppose.
We can just go right outside.
When are we supposed to go to Persephone?
When
When we get called, or?
Yeah, he hasn't called me yet. I don't know if
Okay.
I don't date. Do people wait a certain amount of time before calling someone? I don't know.
I don't know.
I hang out with dead people. They're not on a schedule.
I hang out with wood. Just me and my wood. all the time.
Must get lonely.
Except for
I tried.
it's hard sometimes, but I try to power through it. I just focus on something, the task at hand or in hand, and
Do you think
Once I start working with my hands, it's just it gets easier and easier.
Do you
Right.
think that maybe we could step away from the wood for a little bit and
you can never get too far from it. The wood is always with you.
oh well, I plan on bringing. You know what? I thought if I looked at him and I referenced him, I'd have a name. I don't have one yet. Doggy.
I am
Doggy.
the wood, and the wood is with me.
Sarah, Barry, Gus. Sarah, Barry, Gus.
No. Say it like that again.
Sarah, Barry, Gus.
We can have a picnic outside.
Sure.
Dog can come.
Technically, yes, he can, but there's 3 heads on it. That tends to stand out at the dog park.
We'll just go outside. Outside your house?
There's a patch of grass in the back.
Ah, perfect. I could build you a garden if you want.
Sure.
Give me 5
It's
minutes.
Okay.
She's gonna grab her picnic bag back up and then head outside. Actually, she'll probably walk into the wall and then.
Oh, sorry. He unzips it.
Thank you.
The dog will follow her out, I'm sure.
She brought 3 tennis balls. This is how you fuck with the dog with 3 heads. You throw them in 3 different directions.
What's the name of the dog? I'm excited.
Sorry, Bear.
Sarah, Barry, and Gus.
Sarah, Barry, and Gus. Okay. But it's the 3 heads, there's not a name for the dog specifically.
Not yet.
Okay,
It has to come to me.
I just wanted to be very clear about that because I now need to remember Sarah, Barry, and Gus versus one name. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
I'm
Love you
going to
guys.
call him Doggy to make it easier for you.
Look,
Yeah, that's-
Johnny, when you have 3 siblings, it's rude to just call them all by one name.
I mean, if you can't remember their names,
I'll just join Gephardt and play with his wood.
You're not playing with my wood.
That's from my hands only.
All right, so the both of you are outside, and sometime later, where does Malcolm and JP end up after all this?
Malcolm tells me that they asked us to come back to meet them at Gephardt's. That's where I would go. And I would try to bring Malcolm, but if he has other plans.
Malcolm doesn't tell you that they were looking for us, but he tells you that, oh, okay, so that was really cool. I gotta tell Johnny, but Johnny's at work right now, and I can't tell Johnny. That was really cool. There's no dragons, but that's fine. But we fought a guy and he had the hammer, and he shot lightning out of the hammer, and that was cool. And you were like almost a ninja. That was pretty cool. And then there was like Tiny You, and that was cool. And then Pinocchio. Oh, we gotta bring Pinocchio back. Oh, we gotta read the book about dragons. Let's go to Mr. G's house. We'll bring Pinocchio back. He'll be like, oh, what happened, Malcolm? And I'll be like, oh, this was a really cool story. And I'll tell him the whole story, and then you can read about the dragons. And then when I'm done telling Mr. G about the story, then you can tell me about dragons, and then we'll read together. Is that a deal?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Okay. How do we get
So-
down?
Here, I just motion for you to climb on my back.
Oh, piggyback rides. I'm done. Let's go.
And then I'll
Jumps
just
on.
jump my way over to Gephardt's place.
Well, you beat Pinocchio back, and you find Gephardt and Flora and Sarah, Barry, and Gus outside playing catch and having a picnic. Sorry, fetch.
JP is wearing his suit, and it looks very messed up. It's all like singed, and like the seams are ripping, and there's probably like soot all over him.
Mr. G, you got a dog!
Yes, it's Flora's, but yes.
Oh,
Isn't
there's
he
a-
adorable?
he's got 3 heads on him. That's weird.
It's 3 times the dog.
Nope, it's just 1 times dog, 3 times head.
Not if they have 3 different brains.
But it's still 1 whole dog.
I'm gonna agree. So
Okay.
that we can end this conversation.
Okay, awesome.
But guess who brought treats for you?
The dog?
Me.
That's almost as good.
There's cakes in that basket.
Like several large adult-sized cakes.
You know,
Oh,
you-sized cakes.
so like 1 regular-sized cake.
How about you go look?
Okay, but first I have to tell you a story. Not so much you, because
Why don't you tell Mr. G? Yeah, go tell.
yeah. Okay, cool, Mr. G. And then he just is going to regale you in the most Malcolm way possible about the cool thing that just happened to him.
Flora's gonna stop JP. What happened to you?
I think Malcolm's telling the story.
And then he was like, and he came out of the glass, and then the guy was like, and he also came out of the glass, and they went flying. And it was, and he was like, rah, and then lightning came out of his hand, like real lightning.
Real lightning?
Real lightning! And then it hit JP, and he was like, ah, I get hit by lightning. And I was like, don't worry, JP, ninjas wear black. And then all of a sudden he had a black suit on. He was like, pew, 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 and he was like a real ninja, but not quite. And then Pinocchio was like, rah, roo, and he threw him in the building, and that was cool.
Wow.
I know.
I have to be honest with you, Mr. G. I tried to get Pinocchio out of there, but I lost him. I had to go after Malcolm.
You made the correct decision.
He tackled me in the air. I rode the hammer! That's what happened when you called me. You called me on the phone, and I was riding on a hammer.
JP,
Fighting. Yeah. Yep.
I gotta talk to you. Over there.
All right.
JP, you want me to save you some cake?
I'm okay.
Okay, you look hungry and dirty.
Thank you, Malcolm.
No problem.
JP,
All right.
I made you some protein shakes. They're in the fridge.
I got on top of it. He threw it at me.
Thank
and then
you.
It was like,
Is that the
Spin
only
around.
thing you wanted to talk to me
No,
about?
we have a problem.
Okay.
So I did a thing last night. Sad voice. I went to visit Mr. G's dead parents. Family. No, wife. He said parent. He said his mother's still alive. I went to visit Mr. G, where his family died. I went to summon the spirit. I know I shouldn't have gone alone. Don't yell at me. And then I tried to talk to them, and something else spoke to me, and it spelled out a word in dirt off the ground. And then I texted that word to Mr. G, and Mr. G can't see it. It's not a blank text. He says it's a blank text, and it's not. Then, today, I asked him, I'm going through the story, and I said about his dead wife, and he said, I've never been married. We got a problem.
He said he's never been married?
He said his mom's still alive, and he's never been married. I don't know.
Isn't Gephardt's whole thing
Yes.
finding his...
Yes. Also, did you get the text
What text?
that he's dead?
Oh, the news bulletin?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you knew he was supposed to be in jail, right?
No, I obviously. I'm just saying the timing is off.
why are they
You
whispering?
asked him right now, he wouldn't remember that his wife's dead.
I don't know.
He doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a wife in his mind.
What's
He
the
wasn't
dog
fucking
for?
messing with me. Today's not a good day for me.
Well, what should I do? What do you want? What do I do then?
She leans in really close. It said fairy.
Which head do I give pats to?
Don't pick a favorite.
Okay.
So he doesn't know the word fairy?
No. And that was the clue that I got when I asked. It was... I did something I haven't done in a while to try to figure out where they were. If maybe they hadn't passed on yet, to talk to the spirit, to do something, to get a clue. And I think it's someone that was close to the family that answered me. It wasn't his family, but someone answered me with that, and then was taken away before they could answer any of my questions.
This is all pretty worrisome. I agree, but I mean, what do we do?
We need to talk to Flicker. But do you know how to contact her? I called and it's Malcolm and
All I have is the phone number she gave us. I mean, we could try texting her.
I don't want Malcolm to read it out loud. I don't know what it's going to do. If he's already read it once and now he doesn't remember, it's somehow linked. It's got to be. It's the only weird thing that's happened in the last... That's not true. But it's one of the last weird things that's happened to us.
I'm with you, but that's really the only way I know to contact Flicker.
Guess we wait and see if she reaches out to Mr. G.
Okay. Maybe I could maybe try something. JP's gonna walk back over to Malcolm and Gephardt, and he's gonna say,
And then he went right through the ceiling.
You threw him through the ceiling.
Right through the ceiling. And then I was like, phew! I was going to jump after him. And then JP was like, wow! And he tackled me. And then we had to get out of there.
That was good.
Yeah. I did the whistle thing like you said, and it worked.
I told you.
See? I didn't believe you because I was real far away and I was in a really high up building and I didn't know how he was going to get there, but he got there.
You guys excellent hearing.
I know. Like
JP comes back over and he's like, that's pretty much how it happened.
JP, I saved you a cake.
I'm all right. Thanks, Malcolm.
Yes.
I don't know. It was just weird. As soon as he pulled out that hammer, I just kept getting this weird feeling in the back of my mind that if I only had my weapon, it would be much easier. But
well, you didn't have a weapon, and you just punch him and kick him.
I don't have a personal. I mean, I used to use training weapons sometimes. Have you ever had anything like that, Mr. G? You know, some I don't know, knowledge or something that's seems like it shouldn't be there.
Something I've lost, or I misplace things all the time. I fear I am getting older.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I think it's something to do with all the weird stuff I can do. I thought maybe other people were similar. I sometimes just get weird feelings about stuff.
It's okay, Mr. G. You don't have to be afraid. You are old.
I am.
Hmm?
It's it's almost like remembering, but it's like you can't quite remember. No, maybe I'm just weird. I guess maybe. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I don't know what we're talking about, but fine. I will not remember this conversation about not remembering.
Me too.
Excellent.
So did you guys fight anyone with the lightning hammer?
Been a boring old day carving a 3-headed dog.
Oh. I'm a detective now.
Oh, we did learn something pretty important.
Because?
Malcolm is a detective now?
See? I'm a detective now. I had a hat and everything.
Apparently, Bjorn paid off Samuel, or maybe he's working with Samuel, and apparently he threatened the Darius sisters right before they disappeared.
No, just the one.
Which one?
Phoebe.
That's what I said. Which is the same one that Samuel's dad was paid to get her out of the city. I told you that, right? Okay, good.
That doesn't quite line up then. If she paid them to get her out and they were, paid to threaten violence.
No, I think Mr. Harold, he said that he threatened the Phoebe lady, and then the Phoebe lady hired Sam's dad, Manny's dad, to get her out of the city, and then, then I was a detective, and I had the squirt gun, and I pointed the squirt gun at him, and I said, "Now listen here, see?" And he said, "Don't shoot me, mister." And I said, "Oh," and then he said he was working with Manny's dad, Samuel. That's the one. He said Mr. Bjorn was working. Mr. Bjorn said that he was working with Manny's dad on something that had to do with the sisters. Nailed it.
She doesn't know that the person who was hired to...
I don't think she knows that the person she hired to get her out of the city, she knows that he's also working with Mr. Harold Bjorn.
So she's the one in danger right now.
Okay.
That or Samuel's playing both sides.
Wait, did I tell everyone about Trixie?
Told me.
I know. Did I tell you guys about Trixie?
I don't remember.
Okay, so there's a Trixie lady also. She's a sister, but not one of the three sisters. She's a different sister entirely. I think she's Mr. Harold Bjorn's sister. And then she is also missing.
Daughter of Xanadu guy.
I'm Mr. Xanadu. I don't have any kids.
Gallows.
Yes.
Gallows.
And then, but she's been missing for a while. But Harold didn't want to answer questions. He was like, "I don't know where my sister is." See? And then I was like, "Where is she?" And he was like, "I don't know." And then my friend Johnny told me that he found out that the Trixie lady also found the Megan. And he looks to JP. The Megan lady? The one at the Xanadu place. The one that you...
Yes, that's Megan.
Yes. Okay. So after you guys didn't save her, then she went off with the Trixie lady, and the Trixie lady led her out of the somewhere. I don't know where.
So those two aren't actually missing, and the other one's in danger. What about the third sister?
Wait. Someone said there's a detective looking for her. My friend
Yes.
told me.
Yes.
Yep.
The detective that I work with.
No, that's a boy. The boy one is working. The boy one is looking for the Phoebe lady.
Okay.
The lady detective is looking for the other one.
She looks over to JP. Lady detective?
No, he wasn't there. How would he know? My friend Johnny told me.
What's her name?
Lady detective.
Okay. Text Johnny.
Okay.
Sounds.
Ask for a name.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. G, have you
Johnny.
spoken to Flickr?
Not since the club.
Do you know how to get a hold of her other than the phone that Malcolm's using right this second?
I do not.
Just call it. She just answers stuff.
What's her email address?
Hold on. Here, it's on the phone.
She'll take the phone and email herself.
What do you say?
At G. That symbol, and then the letter G.
What's it?
Yep. She doesn't trust she doesn't trust texts anymore. Or
So you just email. You're emailing yourself, or you're emailing Flickr's account
yeah.
on her phone, and all you're saying is at G.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
in Flora's mind, that's enough information for Flicker to maybe figure it out.
Right.
It might not be.
I didn't
That's
understand.
Flora's mind. She's like, at Mr. G's, like, at G.
Understood.
So JP will say, we could try to talk to Samuel again, but that didn't go great last time. But I don't think this is going to be what Mr. Gallows called hard evidence.
Or, and hear me out, we look at this giant book that my friend gave me, not Johnny, a different one, about dragons. You made a face, and it was a mean face, and you have a three-headed wooden dog.
Do you have one?
No, I have a book on dragons. They're real, like your stupid dog is. Jerk.
But your book isn't.
No, the
She
book is
turns around and starts.
the book is real. No,
Technically, I have the book.
JP, the book is real.
Pull out the book.
See, the book's absolutely real. And you're mean. You're just a mean pink lady.
So, where do you think we should go from here? I mean, can't just knock
Which is the
on.
way that's clear. Well, Flora and I were supposed to go to Persephone.
What's that?
It's a restaurant, I
Ooh.
believe.
What do they make?
Yes. She has a gentleman caller who is summoning her.
Oh, your bald boyfriend.
Yes, well, not mine, but I'm going as a...
Friend.
Supervisor.
What about
Yes.
your search, Mr. G? Did you found anything more?
On what?
Your search.
Flora looks like side-eyeing.
What are you looking for?
I don't know what they're asking me, Malcolm.
Oh, I don't know either. I was asking. What are you guys talking about?
Malcolm, what was that really bad thing that you heard happened?
Oh, Mr. G killed his whole family.
It's ridiculous. Never been married.
You said it, though. You said, I killed my whole family.
Gephardt, real quick question. Is the fairy flaring up as conversation is happening?
As the conversation is beginning, almost like long shot from the 90s X-Men, there is a blue diamond of pinpointed light coming out of his left eye that he does not seem to notice.
Yep, you said it. We were all around the same table, and I was talking about dragons, and you were like, there's no such thing as dragons, Malcolm. And then Mr. Gallows said, I saw several dragons. And then you said something, and I killed my family. And I went, and then you said, but it wasn't me. And I said, oh, okay, that's fine.
He said his family.
Oh, it wasn't me. Right. Well,
Right.
we must have been discussing something else.
Okay.
But you were trying to find who?
JP, I believe that you've had a long morning and you need to... These conversations about things that I don't remember or have forgotten and things that I'm looking for but don't remember. I think maybe you need to rest, son.
What's that?
Flora walks over to her doggy and is petting them and looks at JP and then goes back to petting.
Why is your eyeball blue?
Excuse me?
Why is your eyeball blue?
I don't know, Malcolm.
Oh, just one of them is. It's like a flashlight, like a blue flashlight. Blue
At that,
light.
Gephardt's phone begins to ring.
Malcolm, will you teach Puppy some tricks?
I don't know how to. What tricks?
Sit, stay, roll over. Might be hard with more than one head.
I guess so. I don't have a dog, so I can just sit. Sit. And that continues for a solid 5 or 10 minutes.
And the dog ignores him for 15 minutes. All three of the heads just follow the hand.
Gephardt, your phone's ringing.
He answers it, flips it up. Hello.
What's going on, Gephardt? And then you hear Flicker's voice.
Oh, Flicker. Nothing. What's going on with you?
I saw the text this morning come across the wire. What the hell is going on?
Oh, it's done. It's done.
Did you arrange this?
No. There were orders that if anyone came asking about him without the attorney, he would end his life, and he did it. And it's done now. I'm free.
That's an interesting word, Gephardt. Free. Are you sure you're free?
Very free. No more strings on me.
Who sent me an email through my phone that Malcolm has?
Malcolm? I don't know. Flicker.
When Flora hears Flicker, can I?
Sure. He hands her the flip phone.
Flicker, I sent it. We need to meet.
What's going on, Flora?
I can't talk now over the phone. It has to be in person. We're here
Where are you?
at Mr. G's.
It's not safe there right now. I'm being trailed again. His silicone is not working. You can meet me. And she kind of pauses for a second. Meet me at the Fog's Brew in the Old Quarter. And she sends you a text with the address in an hour.
Done.
Be careful when you come. Make sure you're not followed.
Thank you. She hangs up.
At this point, Pinocchio would finally arrive back at the place, and as he lands, Gephardt would come up to him and kind of stroke the large simian jaw of the wooden creature, and, oh, there, son. We'll get you fixed up. And when Pinocchio would turn and look at the three of you, you would see his left eye flare up blue in Pinocchio. Also, each left eye and each head of the dog would flare blue.
See?
Malcolm, we see it.
Okay, good. I thought I was crazy. Huh. Everyone's eyeballs glow blue. Mr. G, do my eyes glow blue?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
So, Mr. G, who killed themselves then?
Someone in prison.
Someone killed
Masquerading
himself?
as...
Someone
Yes, can you
was
believe it?
pretending to be you and they killed himself?
Apparently, I heard it on the news.
Why? Why were you in prison? Oh, because you killed your whole family. Right. Why would they kill themselves? Why was someone in prison pretending to be you?
These are all mysteries.
I'm a detective now.
Well, don't concern yourself with this, Detective Malcolm.
Oh, all right.
Bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
We have a meeting in Persephone,
I don't like
and
fish.
we need to find these sisters. We need to comb the streets and look under every rock for them.
I don't think they're under rock. They're
While
like
you
adult
two
size.
do that, JP and I are going to go get coffee. We have a little bit to catch up on.
Oh,
Ooh, I could use some coffee.
I also like coffee.
We will bring you some back.
But I don't...
Oh,
Malcolm,
son.
who's going to watch
He-
my puppy?
You, with your
takes-
puppy, you're a grown-up.
You can't go into a coffee shop. He won't fit through the door.
That's your problem. Then you shouldn't have gotten a puppy.
Malcolm, they want to be alone.
And you see Flora link her arm in JP's.
How many boyfriends can she have?
As many as I want, Malcolm. And she,
Gross.
she starts pulling JP, like, let's...
JP's like, wait a minute. Does that mean... All right.
One is bad enough.
As we walk away, Flora's like, I'm going to meet Flicker.
Oh, yeah. I knew.
Oh, hey, can I have the book? Don't leave. Hey, shh, hey,
Yeah?
book about dragons.
Here, Malcolm, just don't ruin it. Don't spill anything on it.
Why would I spill anything? It's about dragons. Mr.
Flora
G,
walks
I have a book about dragons.
Excellent.
I know.
Flora walks back over and just petting the two sides, the two dogs, and looking right at the one in the middle. Watch the outside. Keep them safe. And then she'll turn and go with JP.
Does she know it's made of wood?
She does. I told her.
Okay.
So I have a narrative question about about Sarah, Barry, and Gus. Shut up, Mike. So
Write it down.
I did write it down. Do you want to see? Let's see. It's right there. I wrote it right there. See it? Sarah, Barry, and Gus. All right. Anyways, so with the way that the blue fairy interacts with all of your creations, Gephardt, will it only listen to Flora until you don't want it to? I'm just curious about that.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, cool. So JP and Flora leave. Where do we find Gephardt and Malcolm for the time being?
Hopefully, reading about dragons.
Yep.
Can you read?
We're both reading together.
Yep.
There's lots of pictures.
And I got those. He's got the rest. It's called
Right.
It's called teamwork.
Okay, I just wanted to understand what Malcolm's plan was, because I know that he has.
You know,
He's
been an orphan
learning
since he was
ABCs.
like 6. So
All right, so we're gonna cut with JP and Flora. How are you guys getting across town? Are you going to take an Apollo, or are you going to walk?
We would probably. How long would it take to get there if we walked?
Probably the entire amount of time to get. I mean, that you're expected to meet Flora. So
Yeah, we'd probably walk then, unless JP wants. Unless he wants to piggyback me and jump me across the city.
I mean, if we're gonna walk, then JP would definitely offer to just go there faster by jumping. But he's down to walk if that's what you want.
A gentleman. What if you take us to get some actual coffee and then jump the rest of the way? Pit stop.
I will do so. It'll be hard to carry coffee while jumping across the city, but okay.
We'll get it in in a thermos. We'll be fine.
Sure, that's what we do.
So you're going to get coffee and then to go to a coffee place?
It's a brewery.
Fog's Brew is a coffee shop.
Oh,
Fog's Brew is a coffee shop.
well then yes, we will just go to the...
That's why both Johnny and I went, what the fuck?
That's why I was confused too.
We're gonna bring coffee from another establishment into this one.
It's not Fog's Brewery.
So wait a minute. So if Fog's Brew isn't up to Flora's taste, especially during the daytime, what kind of coffee does Flora like? Actually,
She makes her own.
is it made out of poo? Because I think there was a talk about fertilizer.
So you know that coffee from like the jungle that the monkeys eat and they poop out, and then you gotta go through the poop to get the bean? That's that coffee.
I'm sorry, I asked.
I meant she brews it, not she like...
Eats coffee and then poops it out and then makes it.
Yeah,
You
no.
sure? She
That was
ferments.
not what I was implying either.
She ferments the bean inside the
Let's
corpses
take a-
at work.
All right.
Somebody
All right.
add the quote, she ferments the bean, please.
Okay, so we're going to cut to you guys arriving to the Fog's Brew that she specified in the Old Quarter. Now, like every other building in the Old Quarter, it's more sort of brick and woodwork and classic sort of, New Orleans architecture and style kind of a thing, very American Gothic. This particular establishment is in one of the more commercial areas but it's still old buildings, right? And so it's a corner building, and it's a 2-story Fog's Brew. It happens to be sort of like the pride and joy of the franchise, in that it is this beautiful, establishment. The design of the inside has been made such that it kind of matches, not only the branding of the corporation aesthetic, but also the charm of the old quarter. And as you kind of arrive, you see that Flicker is already seated upstairs, kind of sipping a coffee and typing on her phone in a corner that's a little sort of off to the way and aside. It looks like it's going to give you a little bit of privacy.
Flora will open the door for JP. After you.
Just nods and goes to sit down in front of Flora, or in front of Flicker.
Yeah, Flora will sit down. Thank you for meeting us.
Morning, Flicker.
You guys didn't actually get coffee after you talked about getting coffee prior to going to the coffee joint?
Yeah.
I assumed she was getting me coffee. She said she would get me coffee.
I mean, after she opened the door for you?
Yeah, I'm her date. She invited me here.
God damn it. Fine, she gets 2 fucking coffees. A coffee and a shot of espresso for herself.
Okay. Because she needs to be more peppy. All right, what you said on the phone sounded like you couldn't talk about it in front of Malcolm. Texting up?
Apparently, Gepphardt's going crazy.
There's something wrong with him.
And she's texting as you guys sit down and the pleasantries are exchanged. But the moment that you say that, she stops. And she stops moving very fast, puts the phone down, turns it face down, and you have her full attention. What do you mean?
I think you know what I mean.
No, I'm clearly asking you the question because I don't understand what you mean.
The situation involving his family.
What about it?
Let's just say I may have done a little bit of homework last night. I was at his old house trying to contact his dead family, and someone else answered. And they gave me a word before they were taken away, and I texted it to him, and now he's not the same. And I think you know what I'm talking about.
What do you mean not the same?
He doesn't
Stop
know
being
about
vague.
his family. He's never been married. He never had children.
He said this?
Yes.
He
After I texted him a word that he couldn't see in text. He said it was a blank text message. I checked his phone. It's not.
He thinks that the person who died in prison was just impersonating him.
He doesn't remember his past. At least parts of it.
And this happened after you sent him a text that said the word fairy. Are you sure?
I didn't tell you the word.
No, you just did. You said fairy.
Sidebar, I really didn't say that.
I don't remember when
I said a word. She
Okay.
knows she's lying, right?
No, she's not lying. I honestly heard you say fairy, actually. But
No.
so, okay, she doesn't say that. She's after you texted him a word.
Yes.
What was the word?
Fairy. Does that mean something to you?
She goes white.
I know that face. Tell us. Or we can't help him.
No, it seems like you already have done a lot of damage. I'm not sure I'm going to let you do any more.
So I come to you with information, and you're going to shut us out again and not tell us anything.
This isn't about telling or not telling. Gephardt's in real danger now.
Why?
He's a threat to Malcolm.
Why?
Because if he can't remember his family, then he can't remember who he really is. And if he can't remember who he really is, then that means what he can do becomes all the more dangerous.
What can he do?
She looks at you dumbfounded. What do you mean, what can he do? You've seen his son. You've seen the things that he can do.
Why would he be violent towards Malcolm? Was he like this
His
before?
his family was his anchor.
Flicker,
How?
for better or worse, it seems like me and Flora we're involved now. It's not going to stop, and I'm sure you have your reasons, but so far, not telling us, not sharing information, really hasn't worked out. I think it's time to just put our cards on the table.
And do what? You clearly have interfered in his life and in Malcolm's life and have caused them nothing but problems.
Did you know that this was going to cause that if I texted him that?
No. I had no clue. I'm being presented with a situation that I have absolutely zero understanding about.
Is she telling the truth?
Yes. But you're going to have to roll for it next time.
Flicker.
That's one of my... Okay.
We want to...
It's a power tag, but in order to use that ability, you still need to roll for it.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to protect Malcolm. So does Flora. We just want to help. I know that you think that we've just made things worse, but we can't help make them better if we don't know.
She takes a deep breath and she looks around to the both of you, back and forth. What don't you think I'm telling you? I'm giving you all the information that I have about Gephardt.
Seems like he's still invested in keeping Malcolm safe, and seems more invested now in finding out what happened to Darius' sisters.
Right.
And less in his own case.
And less in his own personal life. And if he's not invested in his personal life, then he's losing a connection with his humanity. I don't know what that means. But clearly, it's going to make him more dangerous because he's not going to care for anybody but his son and his creations.
Fuck. He made... Oh, God.
Flora, I understand what you were trying to do. I respect it. I want to help him too. That's why I'm here. That's why I gave him Malcolm, to give him an additional anchor. I need to protect Malcolm, but Malcolm needs more than me. And Gephardt can be that for the time being. But if he loses his past, if he loses his humanity, I don't know what he'll become.
What do you want us to do? And don't say we've done enough, because it's not like...
I'm speechless. I don't have an insight. I'm not all powerful. I'm not all knowing. I tried to explain that to JP when I found his supposed clone. I tried to explain that to Gephardt. I only can do so many things with my talents. The things that I can do in finding information, that's all based on the real world. I don't have fantastic talents. I don't have amazing... Well, that's not true.
You do, though.
But I rely on those talents that help me find that information. I will do my best. I will do what I can, but at this point, I am speechless. I am clueless. I don't know what it means. Have you noticed anything else that's crazy or out of character for Gephardt? Anything that will present danger to Malcolm?
From what I've seen, he's just as dedicated as ever to protecting Malcolm, but... Have you ever heard of anything like this happening before? I mean, someone losing themselves?
Look, yes. What you're asking, yes.
What?
That's... That's what my good friend Gerald was doing, is he was helping people, protecting them. That's why I was helping him and why I was helping Gephardt to find out who actually killed his family.
Flicker, what does his eye flaring up do? What does it
What?
mean?
I've not seen that before.
Oh.
What do you mean flaring up? What are you talking about?
This is bad.
His eye turned blue.
And all of his creations' left eyes turned blue. He created something for me based on dreams I've had. And it is rather large, like his son. Not as powerful, but... And that too was affected. He just finished it. Does that help?
She looks back and forth. You can see that the paleness on her face. Just the white, she's taken aback. She's having trouble breathing. She's moving very slowly. She's out of control in a lot of ways, in that she's speechless, and she kind of looks around. I have no idea what any of this means, but this is important. I have somebody that I can ask. I'm afraid to. I'm protecting her as much as I'm protecting Malcolm. But she might know more.
Flora takes a card out and put her business card from the coroner's office and puts it on the table. We need to be in contact. No more emailing you from your own phone. No more ignoring us. We need to be able to contact you.
You're not the only people I'm helping.
I understand that.
But you have put Malcolm in danger. So now it is on you two. And she looks at both of you. If I'm to get to the bottom of this, if I'm to help Gephardt, I need the both of you to look out for Malcolm.
She looks to JP. And about the sisters.
I didn't lie to you, Flicker, when I said that I would take care of Malcolm.
That's not as important now as what you do moving forward. Gephardt is trying to relieve himself of responsibilities. Now you understand why it is important that he is responsible for Malcolm. Malcolm is just as much his humanity, his connection to the world. He needs to be that father figure to more than a piece of wood.
I understand. We'll do what we can to help, but how do we know it's not happening to all of us?
There's more. JP and Malcolm went to visit Mr. Gallo's son. He hired Samuel to threaten her. And she hired Samuel to get her out of the city.
That doesn't make any sense either.
She's the only one that I can see actually has a target on her right now, or could actually be in danger.
All right.
His sister took... What was the other sister, JP?
Megan.
The one that Malcolm said. She took Malcolm... God damn it. She took Megan out of the city. Malcolm told us.
It's possible that Manny was wrong about what they had been hired to do, but I heard it straight from Bjorn that he was working with Samuel to intimidate and strong-arm people. I know he wasn't lying.
How did you get this information from him?
Talking.
You're holding back, JP.
Malcolm helped. He did something, and then...
And at that, you see her just, again, head down, eyes closed. If it's possible for anybody to go any wider.
So, we'll do what we can, but I mean, if this is happening to Gephardt, hopefully it's not happening to all of us. You guys don't know anything about my past. Maybe it's all fake. Who knows?
I've got more information about that, JP, but for right now, I have something even more pressing. He looks at Flora and he looks at you, JP, and she says, you need to get back to Malcolm to protect him. But before you go, I have one more question. And she looks at Flora. What the hell are you doing with Anatoly Vidalis? And we're going to cut to Mr. JP and Malcolm.
Mr. G, you mean?
Gephardt.
No, that's what happens when JP and Mr. Gephardt do the fusion.
They do the fusion dance that are Mr. JP.
Yep, exactly.
So it says here that a dragon's breath can melt even the strongest of metals.
Like steel beams?
I would think so, according to this. And that, as the song on the radio fades, he would say, and that is Cyndi Lauper. She can melt anyone's heart. Ha.
Oh.
Yes, she's fantastic.
Okay, so what does it say about giant birds fighting giant dragons? Well, I guess it's like a giant bird fighting a regular-sized dragon.
I haven't gotten to that part yet, but let me ask you a question, Malcolm.
Oh, wait, no, wait, this is way more important. Wait, is there different kinds of dragons?
It looks like there are, yes.
Like, what if it was like a China dragon?
I'm not sure that's what they're called, but...
Okay, well, that's what Johnny called it. He sent me a text message and said it was a China dragon. See?
You mean?
And I pulled the text message for you.
Yep, that's what he said.
I see, I told you.
We have to continue our research.
Okay, so go to the China dragon page.
I will, but...
And then
specifically
the giant bird part.
He goes over and he pulls one of the larger chocolate bars from the top of the refrigerator, and he kind of displays it to Malcolm for a second. And he pulls out a long, almost like a butcher knife, and he begins cutting pieces off of what is essentially just a large hunk of European chocolate. Well, we both believe in dragons, correct?
Yes.
Dragons and big birds that fight them and different shapes of dragons.
Yes.
And he turns back to what he's doing, what he's cutting, and reflected in the metal of the blade, the blue eye begins to reflect off the metal as it begins to glow. Tell me, Malcolm, do you believe in fairies?
Okay.
Good, you do?
Yeah, sure. Like fairies and dragons and witches and wizards and sorcerers in a tower and sea monsters. Mm-hmm.
What do you know of fairies?
Well, sometimes there's like the tooth fairy, and that one comes, and some people tell you that it has lots of teeth and it's real bitey, and some people tell you that it goes under your pillow and steals your teeth, but sometimes it leaves you money. It didn't leave me any money, though, ever, and I lost some teeth. And all my friends have lost their teeth, and none of them get money either. So I think it's just a mean, bitey fairy. And then, one time I read a story, and there was like a girl, and she had 3 fairy friends, and they made her a dress. But that's a girl story. I didn't like it, so I stopped listening. That's it, really. Just books.
Do you think fairies are good or evil?
I think they can probably be both. Like I said, there's the bitey one and there's the money-given one, and those seem like one's not nice and one is nice. Maybe they're all like the scary lady, Flora.
Maybe.
Yeah. Is Flora a fairy?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And he jams the knife down into the butcher's block that he was working on. He turns around with pieces of the bar kind of arrayed on a plate. He takes it over and sets it down in front of Malcolm. Tell me, Malcolm.
Yes.
Have you had any more dreams about the pirate ship?
Yes. Yep. You want to know all about it?
Please.
Oh, okay. So there's a pirate ship, and I'm on it. And sometimes my friend Gideon, he's on it too, and he helps me fight off the sea monster. He calls it a kraken. I just call it a sea monster. But there's a sea monster, and it's attacking a boat, and there's a guy on the boat, and I think he's the captain. And I'm not a captain, but he is on a boat, and I think he's on an adventure to save something. But then the sea monster attacks, and the sea monster's like, splash, splash, and the boat's like, and the boat's getting like tipped sideways and this way and back way. And then it like lightning's like kind of like the guy with the hammer. And then it's like and the boat begins to get all torn apart. And then I have to get out, or I get synced with the boat, and I don't want to get synced with the boat. But I don't know the guy's face. He doesn't have a face on, which is weird, right?
It is. It's a mystery.
I know. I'm trying to solve it.
I'm starting to think, Malcolm.
Uh-huh.
I feel for these sisters that have been taken away or have left, but
Okay.
we have so many other adventures that we can do. So many other.
I know.
We have to find dragons.
Yeah.
We have to find pirate ships.
Uh-huh.
They just seem more exciting.
I agree.
Maybe we can find some fairies too.
Okay.
They could help us.
They seem helpful, or unless they're the bitey ones. I don't want to find the bitey ones. I don't want to get bit by a fairy. That seems unpleasant. Can fairies fight dragons?
Yes.
Can they turn into giant birds?
Oh, fairies can do many things.
Okay. Where would we find a fairy? I only have a book on dragons.
Funny you should ask. And you can take it back, Johnny.
And we're going to cut back to Flora and JP. As you see Flicker looking at Flora expectantly.
Had a question.
Anatoly Vidalis.
I mean,
He has been blowing up the search criteria for you all day. I have been tracking it. Sage, all the social networks. What the hell is going on? Why does he know your name?
I'm not on those. Those are stupid.
I'm not suggesting that anybody actually has anything on you. I'm just suggesting that he's doing a lot of looking.
So, I got this weird feeling about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in a crowd of people and you're like, "Oh, that's my friend." No, just someone that looks like them. And the feeling hasn't gone away. So I went up to him when we were in the restaurant because he sent me a drink, and when we spoke, he asked me if I wanted to go out or something because he owns a restaurant. I don't know.
Persephone.
Yeah, his restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem. I mean, he seems creepy, but well, not right now. But
You know who he is, right?
Yeah, I heard he's like a mob boss or something, right? Yeah.
He is the mob boss. Sorry, Cat is messing with my.
I'm just trying to get some information out of him.
You do understand how difficult that's going to be, right?
Yeah, especially at night, not with those charms. People keep telling me to stay away from him. Aside from his
He's the criminal of the worst kind. He's ruthless, he's smart, and he's cold. Just steer clear.
Right after I go to dinner with him. What if he can answer some of the questions I have? What if he knows where the sisters are? You're saying he's the crime boss. We're dealing with all this crime.
Right now, you need to go and take care of Malcolm. I'll worry about the sisters.
I don't want to leave here on a bad note. So first of all, you look nice today. Second of all, I'm very sorry that I started all this. But most importantly, I don't want to lie to you. I'm still going to dinner with him. And if you text me and I have your number, I'll tell you what he says. Maybe he's got some info. Okay, bye, Flicker. And then she's gonna quickly get up before she can yell at her.
I'm gonna go back to Malcolm. One other thing. Malcolm is like really obsessed with dragons right now, and he thinks he's probably gonna go. He's trying to hunt dragons, and I'm gonna stop it. I promise. I'm not gonna let him do it. But if you hear something about it, just I got it under.
I saw the texts.
I just leave.
Okay, and so we're gonna
her drink and put it on the bar. Thank you. Just run out.
You see Flicker shaking her head as both of you leave, and she goes back to her cell phone. And we're kind of at a impasse right now. Who wants to go next, or who wants to drive the story next in some direction?
Do I get a text message?
You don't get a text message.
Wait, guys, wait a week to text a girl? Come on. She's saying all this to JP, and he's probably not listening. She's like, if a guy says he's going to call you or text you, like, don't you just do it? Don't you, like, how does this dating thing work?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, for me, it usually was like I meet someone, I like take them out like once or maybe twice, and then they stop really responding to my text messages. I think usually it's like family emergency or something, but that's how it usually goes for me. I don't know.
I think I've heard of that.
Your phone starts ringing, Flora.
Hello?
It is so wonderful to hear your voice again. And it's Vidalis.
She looks over at GP.
I would like to invite you to dinner tonight at my restaurant. Would 7:30 work?
Works for me.
All right. Until then.
Goodbye. JP, the trick is be real weird on the phone, because I'm still going to dinner with this guy and he's a weirdo.
Yeah. That's
You got to be mysterious. You can't like put all your, you can't put all your cards out there. You can't, you put them face down, right?
right.
No?
I don't. So you're going out with this guy?
Yeah, to investigate.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna go with you. That'd be weird.
That would be very weird.
So I guess I'll just go back to Gephardt. I mean, Flicker said I need to go look out for Malcolm, so I guess have fun with that.
I was
guess
gonna.
he's a mob boss, so don't get like shot or whatever.
It's like 11 in the morning still, right?
Yeah, it's still pretty much the afternoon, basically. I mean,
You see her just standing there, like playing with her dress, just like, what am I supposed to do until then?
Try on 9 different outfits, and then try them on a second time.
JP's just gonna go. I really thought you were trying to get an excuse to like leave. I was trying to be graceful about it. You can come with me if you want.
JP, I don't do this What do the girls nowadays call it? Ghouling people, where you stop answering? There's a word for it.
I don't think there's a word for it. I think these people just get really busy. Like one girl told me she had to move out of town.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see her in town again?
Well, she moved. I mean, I ran into her once, but she was in town visiting friends. I mean, that makes sense.
Guys, Sam's just playing Sam.
Nice.
Savage.
Maybe on your next date, quieter most of the time, and then you let them talk, and then when they ask about you, be like, just don't talk, you know? Serious.
That's good. That's
Girls
good.
like that. And then like they call you, don't answer right away, you know? Maybe like leave voicemail.
Yeah. Voicemail's good.
Also, I held the door open for you. You should have told me not to.
Well, that you asked me on a date.
You did.
Yep.
You're right. You're right.
Listen, I can have as many boyfriends as I want.
Anyway, we're almost back to Gephardt, so you can come with us if you want, or if you want to go do whatever you do to get ready. That's good too. I'm like, we're like turning down Gephardt Street.
This awkward conversation lasts the entire way for like an hour. I thought this was okay to wear, but I guess I'll change before I go out.
So this is like another opportunity to do montages if you guys would like to, or we can sort of cut through to the evening's activities. What do you guys want to do here?
I think we're going to drag out day 5 as long as possible.
Montages help that.
Not for us. Montages, we just montage the entire day away. So if they're walking back to Gephardt's house, I would say that we cut back to Gephardt and Malcolm finishing their conversation. So we're going to hunt dragons and fairies. What else can we hunt? Are there trolls? Like the troll under the bridge, like the one with the 3 goats, and they were like, I'm a goat. And he was like, I'm a troll. And he was like, give me money or something like that, right? That's a thing that happened. And then we can hunt sea monsters. What if it's just like a sea dragon with a lot of legs? What else can we fight?
It's limitless. But whatever you can think up and imagine, Malcolm, and whatever I can make, we can have many adventures over the city.
Yeah, but I don't want to make a dragon. That's not fun. The dragon's already out there. We got to fight him and find him.
We have to find them.
Do you make a dragon finder thing?
No.
Okay.
But maybe you could. Do you think there's a map to a dragon? Or like a dragon scale? And if we could find a dragon scale...
But why would you
maybe
want to
that-
know how much a dragon weighs?
No. One of the scales, the kind of things like fish scale.
On it. Okay.
On
so,
it.
So no, I don't think dragons have maps, but pirate treasure has maps, but we don't need treasure. We have enough
Right.
treasure. I have a sword.
But we
That's
have
pretty much all I
the
need.
pirates we can go to.
Okay. Yep. And then we have
Dragons.
Dragon.
Fairy.
And then, oh, wait, hold on. Wait. I think I found something because I'm a detective. I just remembered that. The China dragon, Johnny said, hold on. Where's my phone? Hold on. He said, what did he say? He said, don't tell Harold. Shoot. Okay. Secret. Okay, so Johnny wants to go on a secret dragon hunt with us. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And he said it was a China dragon, and he said Cheo. What's a Cheo?
Spell it.
Chao.
Chow?
Cheo. Okay. Oh, like the Chow lady. She was something. I don't want to be rude. I think she was a China lady. Like the dragon.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, see,
All right.
yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't want to know. I don't want to be rude.
Okay.
So so Johnny said, and he's smart. He said that maybe the China dragon is somehow connected to the Chow lady. Maybe the sisters are involved with dragons. And now that's exciting again.
We need to find all of these things.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe we can ask them to help us find other things.
Did I tell you that the Chow Girl has a giant?
A giant, you say?
A green one. With a beard. And you can see through him.
Fun enough. This city needs to be more fun. There needs to be more dragons and more fairies and more adventures.
Well, if we hunt them down, there'll be less of them.
We won't hunt them. We'll find them.
And then what?
Do you want to hunt a dragon or do you want to be friends with a dragon?
What if it's a bad dragon?
What if it's a dragon that'll let you ride it?
What if... Okay. You win this one. That's way cooler than fighting a dragon. Riding one? Are you kidding me? Oh, can I throw my hand up in the air like this?
Sir Malcolm, you have been selected to be a dragon rider.
Yes! Okay, so how do we build a dragon finder? And what do we power it? Wait, do we find the fairies first?
Well, we shouldn't worry about the fairies, but I believe you, Malcolm, are the key. I think that your ability to find adventure, to lead us in the right way and imagine the fun that we can have, usually leads us to all of these fantastic things.
Okay.
We can ask them all to be our friends.
Yes, or fight them, or both sometimes. But
Malcolm, can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
Can I show you something?
Yes.
Okay, come here.
Okay.
And he takes Malcolm over to the service elevator that leads down into the underground access port for the old this is, as we established, this was an old material house for the city, and he puts a fuse into the elevator and pulls the archaic crank, and it slowly kind of catches and the light flickers a bit as it lowers down first one level and then into a second sub-basement. And as the sub-basement comes down, Malcolm would see what looks like perhaps 4 or 5 dozen people standing in the darkness. And he would, as soon as it stopped, Gephardt would reach out and flick a light, and a couple bulbs would and light up this huge area that used to contain gravel and sand and things that would be used in the process of creating streets and subway areas and the foundations of buildings. And stretched out in this area for a good 50, 75 yards of this underground place are carvings in various sizes. Some of them with 3 legs, some of them with 4 arms, some of them looking very bestial like Pinocchio, some of them looking very beautiful like a statue. And as he points at all of them, rows and rows and rows, he looks at Malcolm and says, "If you can keep a secret, Malcolm, maybe all of these could help us." And one by one, blue eyes light up in each of the creatures, down one row, then the other, almost like an LED light flicking like a snake through everything.
What do they do?
Anything we want.
Okay, I have an important question that I think is very relevant. Are they robots?
No.
Okay, so do you see the eyeballs? They glow like robots? Is that just me?
It's just you.
Okay, so I'm the only one that can see giant robot eyeballs on every one of them.
They all have eyes.
Okay, Mr. G, I have an important question, and I need you to be 100% honest with me.
Absolutely.
Are you also a robot?
No.
Okay, then we're fine. You see, all of them have a big blue eye that goes pew like a robot. And then sometimes when you say weird stuff or get angry or do, I don't know, old guy things, your eye also goes pew and you look like a robot too. And then you had said before that there was a guy who was pretending to be you and now he's dead. So I'm not sure if that was the real Mr. G and you're just a robot. Or if you're a Mr. G and that was a robot. Or if you're all robots. Or if I'm a robot.
He puts his arm on Malcolm's shoulder. You're not a robot, Malcolm.
Okay, good.
You're the most important person in this entire city.
I am.
You are the king of this city. You can find everything, every magical creature.
Yes.
All of them that are hidden. We should find them all.
We should find them all. Okay. Where do we start?
Where all good adventures start. At the beginning.
I think that's when you hear like knocking from JP and Flora.
God damn it.
Who's that boy?
He looks at Malcolm. Remember, it's a secret.
Secrets. Who can I tell?
Just me.
Okay. What about my friends at home?
Yes, you can tell them. We'll need them.
Okay. What about Johnny? Sometimes he comes to my house too.
Dragon Johnny?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is going to be awesome.
In fact, you can tell everybody except for Flora and JP.
Okay.
I wanted it to be a surprise for them.
Okay.
And they ride the elevator back up, and he takes the fuse out of the elevator and unzips the wall. Hello.
Hey.
I was holding coffee.
Malcolm is covered in chocolate.
Flora's gentleman friend called her.
Ah, we're off to Persephone.
You're ratting me out.
I don't think that you're invited.
We had established that I was going with Flora.
That's a weird date, but I mean, more power to you, Flora.
You know, I was going to drink at the bar just in case to make sure everything was okay. You all were off fighting someone with a hammer, and that was over pretty quick. Then you got back here in time, but I'll handle this one, boys. You've had a tough day.
Can I bring back food?
Yes,
Okay. Like a lot of it?
Mr. G.
however much you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
What do we do now? What's for lunch?
Did you find anything in the book, Malcolm? I was reading it the other day.
What did you find? Mr. G told me that dragons can melt steel beams.
That's a good question, because we were going to talk about what I did find, and then we never had a chance to do that, Johnny.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out for next week. It's not going to be super critical since we're about 10 minutes out from probably ending. So
Fair enough.
we'll do that right after this session. So
Guys, tell you what. Flora, pay attention. Your dog is fine. Like, I have an important thing. Detective. Hold on. Yeah, detective stuff. Mr. G and I, we were working together on the Dragon book, and I remember that I had a text message from Johnny that is important and not in the Dragon book at all, but it has to do with dragons, and that he thinks that the dragon that fought the giant bird was a China dragon, and that also the Lily Chow lady was also Chinese, and her family's Chinese, and if they're Chinese and there's a Chinese dragon, maybe they're the same, or they work together.
Pretty big leap.
Is it? She has a giant.
Yep.
Is that racist?
He's a kid.
Um,
Malcolm, in
Johnny
the future,
texted it to me.
in the future, it's okay. Usually, it's better to say Chinese dragon, not China dragon.
Oh,
Just keep it in mind.
thanks. So, the Chinese dragon and the Chows are both Chinese. So,
The dragon I was looking for is as well.
is also a Chow?
No, it's a Chinese.
Wait, you're looking for a dragon too?
I told you. Remember that?
I thought you were looking for my dragon.
Well, remember, I told you I wanted to try to talk to a dragon. That's why we went to the library.
Oh, I tuned that right out. I thought you wanted to talk to the same dragon I was talking to. I didn't know you had your own dragon. Also, do you know of a dragon you've been holding out this whole time? When I said there was dragons, and you were like, "There's not dragons," but this whole time you wanted to talk to a dragon, and you wanted to talk to like specifically a Chinese dragon. You just didn't tell me.
No, you said it was a Chinese dragon, and I said that's weird. I have a feeling that I should talk to the Chinese dragon that maybe I have before, and then I think that's probably what you tuned out. So maybe it is the same dragon, but I don't know.
Well, it's getting fought by a giant bird, so you should probably find it. Mr. G and I are going to go find a dragon. We're going to go on a quest to find dragons and fairies and giants and trolls and other cool
Fairies?
stuff.
Tally ho!
Yeah.
I ask why?
I mean, they're not going to find themselves. I mean, because it's an adventure. Like in the books.
Like in the stories.
Thank you.
JP, you're strong and can jump into things. Maybe you should go with them.
Why
Yep.
do I need JP to jump?
How are you gonna catch a dragon?
Because I can fly.
Yeah, I got 2 wings.
I
Dragons have riddles too, and you have to answer them. And if you answer them right, then they'll be your friend.
had to save JP. He was falling to death. I left that part out of the story. Sorry, JP. I mean, also you're welcome, but also
Yeah,
sorry.
you definitely you saved me. I would have been a goner without you there, Malcolm. So
I
good.
know.
You're a real hero. But
And that's why we're going on adventures to find dragons, because I'm a real hero. And also a detective, but not a pirate king anymore. Just maybe a regular king once I find all the monsters and beat them up, or become friends with them.
Well, there's usually a princess to save, and seeing as you seem like more of a pirate book type of guy,
No,
you could save JP.
but he's a boy.
But he could also be a ninja.
No, we figured out that he can't. I even tried to give him a black...
something.
I even tried to give him a black ninja outfit, and he was still not a ninja.
I feel like I need to make a clarification here. I do martial arts, but that doesn't make me a ninja. It's not like...
JP, would you like to go with them?
Yeah, I already agreed.
Great. So I have some things to take care of.
And I have a dragon to find.
I left more snacks in the fridge for you.
I'll pack them in a dragon finder bag. Adventurer's kit.
Excellent. Get those ready. I'll be back with Flora. When should I meet you at Persephone's?
8:30.
8:30 it is.
Shush, Johnny.
Okay.
I saw it. I saw that look.
I just wanted to clarify.
And I'm going to tell all my friends and Johnny about secrets, and then I'm going to get Johnny, and then we're going to go on a dragon hunt. Find.
Malcolm,
Dragon find.
Maybe we can go talk to your friend at the Chow Industries and look into it that way.
Oh, she doesn't work there.
Well, either way, we can try to find more information about the
Oh.
dragons and
Probably not. They don't like her. She ran away. She stole a giant and then ran away.
so.
Malcolm.
Yes.
He takes the book and he just opens it up to a page, and Gephardt puts his hand in the book and closes the book over that part that he's kind of held with his hand, and his hand is covered and sandwiched by the pages. What do you think the chances are that my hand right now is on the very page that we need that could lead us to a dragon here in this city?
Johnny, can I roll change the game to find a dragon map?
Sure.
Okay. So I am going to roll. Oh, jeez. Imagine things to life, clap if you believe, and everything's a game. That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if any of your weaknesses apply here.
Stress
don't
and
think
negative
they do.
emotions. The only one would be is can't tell adults from pirates, but that's really only applicable in like combat situations.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to roll those 3, and I'll roll to change the game. As soon as I do this. Change the game. 1 juice. Oh no, I get 3 juice. Mild success.
Yeah, so you only get the top 3. According to the book.
Okay. Cool. So what are the top 3? Create a story tag.
Yeah, create a story tag, burn and power tag, or a story tag, give or reduce the status.
So create a story tag is map. Is ancient map is what we'll call it. That's the story tag. And then I got 2 more. I can't really burn I can't really burn a tag. I can't really reduce the status. I don't have anything, right? Yeah, I'm open to suggestions, Johnny. What do you got? I know you have something brewing in there.
Well, I'm going to suggest that we allow this one case where to allow you to prolong the effects of the map persist beyond the scene.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest that we do that.
Okay.
And I think that Greg should suggest something to support this freaking evil plan that Gephardt has going on right now to defeat, the good that is JP in this situation. Go ahead, Gephardt. Help him spin his juice.
It should be a map to an ancient green dragon.
Okay.
Not the quote-unquote Chinese dragon that JP might be looking for.
So it's specifically not the dragon that I need to find. Excellent.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I create a map, and then it's specifically not JP's dragon, and then it lasts beyond the scene. Okay.
Okay.
And he goes, I think it's pretty good chance.
Okay.
JP.
Clap if you believe in fairies.
Okay.
And he opens the book, and lo and behold, an ancient trifold that extends the page about 4 or 5 times as big as what it was folded in shows a map to an ancient green dragon's lair here in the city.
Dragons.
I knew it.
Oh!
We always start at the beginning.
Yes! And you said there weren't dragons, Flora. Oh, man. This is gonna be good.
Gephardt will kind of saddle up beside Flora as I'm assuming Malcolm pours over the map to look at it, and he down and says to Flora, "What time is it really?"
You asked me what time to show up. I want you to show up at 8:30.
Okay.
I need to get ready. She's
Okay.
not lying to him.
Well, I said, "What time are you supposed to be there?" And you said 7:30. You said 8:30.
No, you said, what time are we meeting there?
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have not lied to you. She knows.
Okay. Wonderful. See you then.
There you go.
The end.
Okay, so that's not quite where we're going to end just yet. So I just want to be clear about what's happening here. JP, Malcolm, at the behest of, or at the pushing of Mr. G, are going to go dragon hunting.
And that's all that matters. The end.
And then Flora is going to go off to her dinner, and she's not going to do anything else prior to that?
Well, it's midday, so I think she's gonna go work, get ready, and then go.
Okay, so to end on a really interesting note, we're going to cut to that particular point.
Which one?
We're going to cut to the dinner. Are you going to to Persephone? You arrive at the appropriate time. It's quite a nice little establishment. It seems like a small restaurant, but it's actually a pretty big place based on the reputation that it has. As you enter, it's empty, except for one server who's just sort of standing there at the door, kind of waiting. And the sun is going down very soon. So you kind of walk in and your perceptions are starting to change, your attitudes are starting to change, but you step in and you take a look at the server and he looks vaguely familiar, but you're not quite sure where you've seen him before. Like there's something off about him, but you can't quite place it because you're kind of distracted trying to figure out what's going on in this situation. And he says, "Why don't you follow me?" And the voice is familiar. And it kind of leads you, into the restaurant proper. And the restaurant is really empty, and it's all lit with candles. And seated at a table in the center is Mr. Vidalis. And as he sees you approaching, he steps, he kind of scoots out, walks around the table, pulls the chair out, and offers it to you.
She's wearing a long black train dress, and will just sort of scoop up her dress and have a seat and thank him.
What can I get you to drink?
You seem to have picked a good wine, if I recall.
And he snaps. And the server that comes in, that led you in, kind of moves off towards wherever their wine rack is. And so he heads off behind you. Out from the kitchen comes another individual carrying what looks to be bread and butter, bringing it to the table. But when he walks up, he looks exactly the same as the other individual who just brought you in. And so that kind of catches your eye a little bit, and you start to take him in. And you kind of lean back as you're kind of observing. And if he was wearing a jacket, he would be the exact same individual who you saw previously on the first night, dressed in gray, same chiseled face, same facial hair, short hair. And as he's kind of serving the bread and kind of bringing the plates up, the first one kind of walks up again, offers the bottle to Mr. Vidalis, and places 2 glasses. And both of them step back, being very patient and waiting. And that's where we're going to end it.
Dope.
Are these guys also ready to get fucked up?
I don't know. Maybe you should spit on them and see if they smell sort of metallic when you burn them.
Yeah.
Ba-na-na. Guys, that was man, I randomly picked a name for this episode, and it worked super good. Guys, that was episode 7 of 6&Twenty Metropolis, Worlds Collide. It'll be up on YouTube in a few days, so if you guys caught the tail end or missed any part of that, feel free to go check it out on YouTube in a few days, and like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Also, before we jump into our character introductions here, I'll remind you guys we're doing a giveaway, exclamation point giveaway in the chat. There is about, I think, 7 more days left to get in on that, and if you do not win or you do not get in on the giveaway, you can still go to the website, cityofmist.co/store, and you can get the hardcover and PDF and use the coupon code 6&20fan and get $5 off that coupon code. It helps you get a cheaper book, which is awesome, and it helps us by being super rad. So let's go around and introduce our cast and crew here before we end the night with a little raid. So let's go to the lady of the 3 hour, Mr. Ninja. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think about tonight's episode?
Sorry, I thought after tonight you were going to go over to JP. I'm Miss Ginger Ninja. I was playing Flora tonight. Very interesting turn of events. Who knew that Flora was the nice one and Mr. G is a fucking monster? I'm pretty excited for next week. And when's your next thing? Aren't we doing the Cthulhu thing?
You are muted.
April
Stop using your
20th.
Never mind.
April 20th is yeah, nope. So with that, we will go over to the Godslayer himself. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I am Sam, twitch.tv/wizandfool, Twitter @TheWizandFool. This was a good episode. It was good fighting Thor. I'm glad we didn't get owned. the whole turn from Gephardt was disconcerting. I liked how as soon as it seemed like Gephardt would be interested in going after the mystery we're supposed to be solving, he immediately turns around on that and sends Malcolm down a wild goose chase.
You think it's a wild goose chase.
And yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. JP trying to figure out what's what with these dragons should be good as well, especially because this is not the right dragon. So.
I'm intrigued. We'll go over to the Pied Piper of Hamlin himself. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I loved tonight's episode. I had a lot of fun. Whenever Gephardt was made up, Johnny received this as a possibility. So it's super fun to go this direction, I guess. Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. Next up, you can see me Saturday evening on Learn by Play on Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast from 6 to 9. My own channel, Grimjack21502, on Sundays from 7 to 9 for a little Pulp Cthulhu action. And Tomes and Tentacles podcast every Tuesday. And next month on my channel, we are starting a Firefly RPG, which begins on Friday the 27th from 2 to 4. So, but until then, stay misty, everybody.
Sweet deal. And last but not least, thrown for several loops today, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think about tonight's episode?
I quit.
I know.
I just quit. I'm done.
That's our goal for the show.
Oh, it is every episode. I totally get that.
Yeah.
What did I think of this episode? I find it interesting the direction that Gephardt went, specifically because it was precipitated by Flora, which means that there is an extra added amount of interaction with the characters there that I wasn't quite expecting, which could present for, an interesting twist at the end of this whole thing. I'm worried about Gephardt. I'm worried about what's going to happen with him. I'm worried that JP is going to have to kick his ass because JP is the do-gooder of the bunch, and I'm worried how Malcolm is going to be caught in the middle of this whole thing, trying to figure out what is the right thing to do or what's the most fun thing to do. So. Video Store Cowboy, all my links are in chat. You'll see me tomorrow on Not So Speedruns as Team Esper gets a chance to cause more havoc and do some more investigations. And then we will on Friday be doing the makeup episode for last night's Tuesday crew situation where we had to cancel due to some bandwidth issues. So we'll be doing that 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Friday, and that'll be a makeup game for last night's missed game. So I'll post on Twitter as well. Anyways, great game, guys.
There's also
I hate you all.
That's fair. Guys, I recommend you guys go follow the 6&Twenty Twitter account. We have a new show that we didn't really announce, but here it is. It's a new show on YouTube. It's called Beyond the Mist, where we get together with various members of the cast and discuss things. Last week's episode is up on YouTube, on the 6&Twenty YouTube page, and you can find that link on Twitter. And it's about world building, about how we built this world. It's me, Speedy, and Trendane with the host, McLoken. So definitely go check that out. This week, there's another one being filmed. Should be up early next week about character creation, that kind of cool stuff. So with that, and speaking of, we're going to go raid our buddy McLoken, who is currently playing Chosen, which is his D&D meets Final Fantasy style game. So go check that out as we give him a little raidy raid over there. So yeah, we're going to get the hell out of here, guys. From all of us to you, bye-bye.